All right, all right, all right. Welcome to my channel. My name is 12 Gauge. Thank you for being here. This is your first time. I hope that you enjoy the presentation. If you've been here before, thank you for coming back. Thank you for being in the chat. And thank you for giving your constructive impression on the thoughts and research that is presented here. It is always welcomed. It is always enjoyed. I speak in a generalized terms, so like I always say, I really don't talk about other content creators or what they create or what they don't create. But at times I think it needs to be spoken on, but there's plenty of platforms that do that already. And I don't want to jump into that arena. So I want to talk about a little bit what was told to Adam and about the white truck. There's a scene in that video after Kaylee asked Maddie, what did she say to Adam? And I'm going to play this video again. It's very short, but I want to play Jeff H's rendition of this, okay? So hold on a second. And I'll play Jeff H's rendition. And then we'll talk about it. Even though there's nobody in here right now, so it's cool. Just like old times. And here we go.
How did you say that out? I told you everything.
Okay, let me rewind it a little bit.
How did you say that out? I told you everything.
Okay. So obviously we're going to be speculative today because there's no way that any of us will really understand or know what was said to Adam. I merely want to talk a little bit about the way that people jumped into this and how individuals were quick to feel like they knew what was said to Adam. You know, if you recall correctly, Kaylee and Jack has been broken up for 3 weeks, I believe, at this point. So there was a lot of discussion being tossed around that she told Adam everything as far as what Kaylee had been doing during the 3 weeks that Jack and her were were not together. There's also speculation that she also told Adam, about the drugs that she supposedly flushed down the drain or in the toilet. There's a lot of speculation on a lot of different things on what could have been said to Adam. Let me pull up a photo of what many people saw very early on. And this photo right here was being circulated around very early on. It says Corner Club Bar 11/13/22 reveals Kaylee and Madison with the male suspect by the public to look like Kaylee's ex-boyfriend JD. So if you see in the corner there with the curly hair, that is the bartender Adam. A lot of individuals, mainly in the chats, because I don't like to be one of those people that say, they said, because who is they? And who is them? And what did they say? Who is the imaginary they that many people use to get information from to be able to pass it forward? Who are these they people? So I'm going to say that the people in the chats and of these creators that were streaming this were speculating that that individual with the hat next to Adam was Chief Fry, which was later found not true. I don't believe that that was Chief Fry at all. And then we have the hoodie guy, who is Jack Showalter. And then you see Kaylee with her back toward the camera and Maddie close to what looks like Kaylee's ex, Jack DeCur. There's been a lot of inspective photos and everything that people have shown that could probably 85% chance be him. But if you look down at the bottom of the screen, it says 11/13/2022, 1:32 a.m. with 14 seconds. So unless that time frame was messed with or whatever, this actually shows them in the corner club right before the video was captured of what did Maddie tell Adam. So I want to ask you, any of you, whether you watch this on replay or whether you watch this live, what are some things that could have been so important that Maddie told Adam that made them leave that corner club not long after what she told him to head to the grub truck? Because they were not there much longer after this still photo was taken. So could she have told Adam her plans for Thanksgiving break? Could she have told Adam maybe one of her sorority sisters had a crush on him? Could she have told Adam Kaylee's plans of getting back together with Jack? Could she have told Adam that he needed to tell Jack that it was over between them and Jack needed to leave Kaylee alone because Kaylee was moving away? The word everything is a very infinite word, meaning that that word goes on and on and on and on in different variations for a long time. So what'd you eat at Thanksgiving? I ate everything. Did you really eat everything? Or did you eat a lot of everything? And if you break it down, then everything has subtitles to it and it breaks it down to the point where it is understood what exactly was eaten. And I believe at this point in investigative work on cases, not only this one, wording kind of kills a lot of things. Because there's so many words that have different meanings today that they didn't mean certain things before. Kind of like the emoji generation of, how are you feeling about that comment I just made? And somebody could send you the skull. And that means you're dead, meaning that you really didn't die, but it impacted you a way where you felt like that was so profound that it killed you, you know. So the fact that she told Adam everything, I want you guys, whenever you do watch this, or if you happen to come in while I'm live, type in the comments or in the chat box some of your thoughts on what she meant by she told Adam everything. And what could she have meant? Why? What made you think this everything made Kaylee react like she did? What made you think made her react like she did? Because in her voice, it sounds like, oh my God, you just told us something that I asked you to keep in private, and you told somebody else everything? Why would you do that? What would make you betray my trust like that? What could possibly come out of this now that you've told my ex-boyfriend's housemate everything? Hey Jeff H, how you doing, buddy? You want to come up because I need some photos from you. I'm using your I used your I told Adam everything video, but if you can come up, that'd be great because you can help me with some photos that I'm looking for that I can't seem to find. Hey Paula, how you doing? Jeff says I really think it has something to do with the relationship between Kaylee and Jack. And that's true. That could be very well it. I mean, because have you ever had a friend that you were best friends with and you tell them everything about your life or they know everything about your life and then one of your drunk friends who is the closest to you in the world spills some information that you have held close to the vest, so to speak, and they tell this person everything. Yes, they were on a break. Could Maddie have talked with Adam about whoever Kaylee was or saw during that break? I thought the G family said that she told Adam that Kaylee wanted to get back together with him. They talked to Adam about it. I kind of remember that, but I also remember an interview where Steve very briefly stated that they had seen that video and that um it was basically they had talked to Adam and it was just basically them talking to the bartender about their drinks or that and the other. So I don't know. I'm open to dialogue here because I mean that statement in itself has so many meanings and none of us might know what it means, but it's interesting to discuss nonetheless. If Kaylee is thinking she might get back with Jack, but then Maddie goes and spills the beans to Adam about somebody she dated during the break. I mean, that could be very possible. I mean, have you ever done something during a breakup and there were, you're kind of like, oh man, I shouldn't have done that. We were on a break, and then now my best friend just told my ex that I hooked up with somebody during our break. Not cool, you know? But my point in this whole thing is how how this was at one particular point a big focal point in people's focus on the whole investigation, even though it has nothing to do with evidence. It's people's focus on it. I think I also heard the timestamp was wrong. The bar hadn't changed their clocks back yet, so it was actually 12:32. Okay, so it was an hour off. If that's true, then just like the Linda Lang cam, I had talked with Jeff at one point, and we had decided that those Linda Lang cams were off by a couple minutes as well. Um, well, so I don't lose focus here. I want to continue discussing this because it was a huge focal point in the very beginning. It was very interesting about what did Maddie tell Adam? People were making it nefarious. Did she tell him about the drug dealing? Did she tell him about the money in the house going this and that and the other? Did she tell him about? And then they were trying to make it where if she did tell Adam about Kaylee, is that what ultimately created the situation that happened? Because in the beginning they said it was a crime of passion. The house was targeted. Do y'all remember that? Crime of passion. So that fits that narrative. And if Maddie told Adam everything and he told Jack everything, then everything could have got both of them taken out. Crime solved, right? What the problem with that is, how was that everything include Ethan and Xana? Because I'm pretty certain Jack would have known Ethan and Xana, right? So what would they have had to benefit by losing their lives in one night? You know what I'm saying? So, and how could Maddie telling Adam everything involve Brian Koberger? Do you think she told Adam Kaylee had a stalker? You think she told Adam that Kaylee was being stalked? What do y'all think, guys? What do you think? I'm just throwing this out there because I didn't have really much to talk about today. I wanted to talk about this very briefly because I started thinking about this part because I haven't really spoke on this. Do you believe that possibly Maddie told Adam everything about her plans or Kaylee's plans on going to Europe and then moving to Texas? Because I mean, if you're broken up and it'd been 3 weeks, unless she had those plans and he already knew about it, those would have been something that he wouldn't have known about. Did she tell him about the new vehicle? Did she tell him about the vehicle she just purchased? Yeah, I like that better. 10 plus 2. Yeah, I like the positivity.
It's
How's it
even
going, Jeff?
numbers. Yeah,
How the go-
it gets away from the odd, right? It's even. 10 plus 2.
yes, exactly. It's different.
Yeah, yeah.
So you heard what I'm talking about a little bit? I mean,
Yeah,
like I said,
I think that's an interesting theory about the vehicle. I mean, this could be something as simple as like, I was going to surprise Jack about the vehicle. Well, I don't know. I don't know how long was she there before this happened though with the vehicle?
supposedly one night.
That weekend, right? Yeah, so
Right. She came. Did she come in Friday night or did she come in that Saturday? Because she was Dylan's plus one on that Saturday night,
yeah.
and then they lost their lives after midnight. So technically Sunday morning. So I don't think it's ever been mentioned. Paula, do you know if it's ever been mentioned that she came in Friday night? Paula, would you like to come on panel? Don't have
Come
to
on
show
up,
your
Paula.
face. I mean, there's only three of us in the whole thing right now. I'm interested to hear. Wasn't it Friday that there was supposed to be a party with 100 plus people? That's what I heard also. I heard that she was Dylan's plus one to the ball thing. And then there was supposed to be a party at the King Road house the night before the murders. So
So there was supposed to be 100 people partying at that house?
yes.
Oh my gosh. The first thing that makes me think of, actually just seeing the way you wrote it, 100 plus people. If you are thinking about doing a crime where you don't want your DNA found, would you stop and think, okay, this house is going to have the DNA of 100 people that night? Is that something that it would cross your mind? It's like,
I've always thought that.
they'd never find my DNA in that mess of DNA.
Yeah, I've always thought that too very early on, But
Why didn't
people
you
were
tell me?
quick.
I'm sitting here. I'm just now coming to that conclusion. Why didn't you tell me? Left me hanging.
No, no,
12.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you why I never mentioned it again because
I'm just kidding.
I threw that up in a chat one time, and like with everything else that could be positive, that could positively take this case in a different direction, people are
Hmm.
quick to attack you over it. No, that's not
Right.
true. That can't be true. There's no way that could have happened. No, that's been debunked.
Right.
Well,
Right.
if every piece of evidence has been debunked, then you have as little as the cops supposedly have. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I mean, haven't you been in chat, Jeff, where you've asked a question or you put something out there and people are quick to say, no, that's not true. That's not real. That's not, that's been
Right.
debunked.
Right. Yeah. When you have a different opinion, and then pretty much sometimes with me, it's been with the entire room. At least it
Yeah.
feels that way.
Yeah.
And then when you come into these rooms as a semi regular with your different opinion, and then the mods are greeting you by saying, "Now you behave, Jeff." That's like, what did you just say to me? You basically said, "Careful sharing your other opinion, your different opinion in here, because you're going to rile some feathers." And it's like, really? I'm just having a conversation. I would. It's very compelling. Like if we were sitting down like talking about like a jigsaw puzzle, and we've only got like it's a 1,000 piece jigsaw puzzle, and we've got 100 of them put together. Why can't we sit there and cordially have a little conversation? It's like, you know what? I think this is a boat pier, and then the other person would say, no, I think that's a gazebo. Do we have to hate each other because we got a different view, whether it's a gazebo or it's a boat pier? It's like,
No,
let's find
no.
something to agree on. There's some sky. Okay, we agree. The blue is probably sky. But still you probably get somebody coming in. The blue is not sky. The blue is the killer.
Well, yeah, yeah. The blue is not actually blue. It is a
Yeah.
different color blue. It's not
That
actually blue.
that color blue was left by the fire hydrant. They just left it there as evidence and
Yeah, it's a tree house.
Yeah.
No, Jeff, I was going to ask you, do you have that picture of 1112 where it shows the pumpkins and
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
Can you pull that up, and that way we can look at it? That way I can talk about the white truck, because I wanted to use that photo and I couldn't find that photo anywhere. And I know you and I have looked at that photo before.
Yeah, yeah, the one from the security camera itself.
Yes, the one that was
Um,
supposedly leaked by Steve.
Let me see. I already, or I could just crop this one again. It's got black at the top and bottom that we don't need.
Yeah.
Wait, let me just copy it, crop it, and then that way we'll be able to see it. We'll be able to see a
Okay.
picture.
Yeah, I mean, you get into these cases, and I know this case has been around for a long time. It's kind of like the Delphi case. It feels like it's going on forever and ever. But you hear so many different theories, and or not really theories. You hear hypotheses and opinions on what's real and what's not. It kind of makes you feel like you're losing your mind after a while when you're speaking on it so much.
Yeah, yeah. I think people just gotta be nice.
Yeah.
Um, it's but that's the thing that makes this whole case so interesting. I mean, it's just very compelling. When it gets your emotions going, it's obviously something that it's stirring up those emotions. I think most people don't want to be wrong about something, and they love being right about something. So
Yes. And the fact of the matter, since we're at the level where people have started to argue about um, the PCA being irrelevant or whatever, we're at that point. Hey, Christy, how
hmm
are you doing? Thank you for being here. Um, they're saying, well, are they just going to throw it out and let him go and then recharge him? That's not what that means. It means that at this point, the PCA is irrelevant to the fact of the process where we're at as far as the hearings are concerned. But people take that word and they misconstrue it to want to mean the outcome that it really doesn't mean. I heard a lawyer. I don't know. I've seen you in Swamp Rose's chat before. You know the lady she has on there, Gia?
yeah, yeah, yeah. The co-hosts with her.
Yeah, I think she's a family lawyer, right? I heard her explain a lot of things the other morning. She is excellent in her explanation
Yeah.
on things. She is excellent. And
Hey, Christy.
I have a lot of respect for her and Swamp Rose, for their explanation on certain things, because she was able to describe that as far as, where the word irrelevant doesn't mean, that they're not going to use it anymore like other people are talking about. She actually discussed it, how it meant that, it's not fitting for this part of the hearings, which
Right.
makes a lot of sense.
Was it kind of like a because the PCA is a it's it's just the probable cause to get the arrest, and then the
Yeah.
investigation continues after that. So it's isn't it? It's kind of like a rough draft, right before you continue on with you move forward, and in time, I would imagine you
Right.
as you
Well,
as you learn more, you know more, and as you know more, you tell more, and you get a
exactly.
clearer picture.
It's kind of like when you go into treatment, they evaluate you, they find out what the problems are. As a therapist, I write a treatment plan. Does that treatment plan mean that it's concrete? No, that treatment plan's a work in progress, meaning that through your time in treatment, if I find out that there's other issues we need to work on, I can always add to that treatment plan and revise it. If you complete certain things, well, we take those off there. And
Right.
a probable cause is basically what the police saw at the crime scene. They're bringing the evidence to the judge as probable cause for an arrest. That's all the PCA is. It's probable cause. The judge could have kicked it back and said, "Hey, there's not enough evidence here. We're not gonna
Right.
we're not gonna arrest this guy." And had that happened, we wouldn't be anywhere where we're at. The police would have had to make more. They would have had to redo it and find more evidence to make the probable cause stick.
Right.
So at this point, obviously the judge saw enough evidence. They didn't have the preliminary hearing that they normally do. They kicked it to the grand jury. So the grand jury investigated the case on the evidence, and they saw more cause to indict. So that's where we're at.
I don't really have a full understanding of the grand jury process, but I do remember hearing when it went to the grand jury that a lot of people that I think definitely have legal experience and knowledge far greater than mine were saying things like they were surprised it didn't go to the grand jury sooner.
Yeah.
So I don't really understand why, but I do remember them saying that. So when everybody was kind of criticizing that it went to the grand jury, and they were kind of making it sound like it was a last minute Hail Mary pass decision, it seemed like some legal experts were saying it's like,
Well, the thing
surprised they
about
didn't do this sooner.
the grand jury and why they're so liked or disliked is the defense is not there. So the state get to call the shots on that. They get to say, well, we're confident enough that we have the evidence to indict this guy. He's not, it's not a trial. It's basically the state presenting evidence that they have for an indictment. So the grand jury is basically just looking at the evidence, asking questions about, okay, so you're showing us this. Tell us how this meet the evidentiary culpability of the crime was occurred. So at that point, you're showing, the grand jury is investigating the evidence that you're showing them, and that's it. It's like, okay, Jeff, let's say, you bought a fresh thing of cookies in the middle of the night. Somehow cookies were eaten. You wake up the next day.
Crumbs.
There's crumbs everywhere, right? So that's your evidence. You show the crumb to the grand jury. They're asking you, okay, Jeff, do you have anything else that could possibly show it that you had a full thing of cookies in there and there's some cookies have been taken? Or you're going to present more evidence that
Right.
you have. Well, here's the wrapper that showed that I opened it, the full thing of cookies. Now there's only 3/4 of the, or 2/4 or whatever. There's like 6 cookies missing. So obviously a little kid got up in the middle of the night or Jeff got up with the munchies or whatever and ate the
Right.
cookie. So there is evidence to indict Jeff if we see that, there was a full thing, now there's not. That's just a very basic
Yeah.
analogy, but you get the point. It's not, people were thinking that, they're gonna call Dylan, they're gonna call Bethany, and they may well have. We don't know.
Right.
That's why it's secret. They may have had recordings from this informant that people think is out there. All this could have been presented to the grand jury, and they could have said, "Hey, that's why we're going to indict him." Even though there was also rumors that some of the grand jury members wanted more evidence, but that doesn't mean anything more than they weren't. They wanted more of how those cookies were eaten.
Right. And if you think about it too, I've always said that like the way that we're all acting and reacting in the YouTube community, we are like the jury members will be when the trial comes. And so even us today, I mean, if so the grand jury, somebody on the grand jury wanting more, I mean, that's kind of what we all are doing, right? We all want more. Everybody
Yeah.
wants more. And I guess there's some that want, well, like remember Steve Gonsalves was saying like, let's just get this trial going. We don't have to have everything perfect and just every little detail and thing. It's like at some point you have to decide, let's just go and start the process. So I guess there's some that would say, okay, this is just probable cause. Actually, here's a good definition. I just Googled a probable cause. This is on Virginia's judicial system website, but it says probable cause is best defined as a reasonable ground of suspicion supported by circumstances sufficiently strong in themselves to warrant a prudent and cautious man to believe that the accused is guilty of the offense with which he is charged.
Simple as that, right?
Yeah.
Simple as that. That's all it is.
Yeah, it doesn't
People,
have to, it does not prove, it's not like the full story. And
no,
oftentimes conversations about the PCA are as if it's the full story. This is more of a synopsis, right?
yes,
And the thing is like it boggles my mind that people that say you're going to call me a guilter, and it's like, I mean, I read through the probable cause, and it's like I don't know for sure, I can't prove it, but I'm not going to sit there and be on the opposite side that I hear is like this PCA is garbage. He's innocent. Anne said he was innocent, so he's got to be innocent, and she
right,
even sold me a bridge, you know.
right, right.
So
So probable, think of the word probable. Probable is more than less. You get what I'm saying? There's more of a probability that this can occur than less of a probability when
right,
it comes
right.
to law. There's more of a probability on this evidence that shows that this person could have did it than
Yeah,
less.
here's a definition of probable. If something is probable, there is a good chance that it will happen, but it is not certain. So yeah, you know, it's
Do
probable,
I get it?
probability.
Do I get an A+ for that, Jeff?
I think you do. Let me get my red
Okay.
marker.
All right. Cool. Cool. I mean, it's and that's what drives me crazy. And you know, I can back before I was taking these courses that I'm taking right now. Um, I was very easily swayed based on wording. I was easily swayed on the quote unquote evidence that was being presented. The PCA. I read it. I was almost damn near convinced he was guilty right off the bat. You know, but as I learned more and more about the law and the wording and how things fit, it's harder to go against the knowledge that you learn with just speculation. You know what I mean? When something
Yeah,
is written in black and white, just like what you just read, you'll never look at those words the same ever again, no matter what people try to convince you of. Is that
right,
true?
right.
Wouldn't that be true to say?
I would think so. Yeah.
Christy says I go both ways. Oh, do you now? No. I see, I can come up with him doing it, and I can see ways he didn't do this. Well, and that's the glorious part of him being able to go to trial. He has that ability right now because he's not guilty. He's not guilty. He had just been placed under indictment. He is placed under indictment that he probably could have done it based on the evidence that they have to bring before the court. It doesn't say 100%. We're 100% certain that this is the guy. I know you've heard that in other statements by um, news broadcasts and things of that nature. They're almost certain that that they're 100% sure that they got their guy, this and that and the other. But nobody is 100% sure whenever they're arrested. And then even when they're indicted, they're still not 100% sure because they can't be. Otherwise, what's the need of a trial? Why would you need a trial if you're going to base innocence or guilt on an arrest or an indictment? That's not how the law works.
Right.
There's a lot of wordplay in all the documents, different people can read the same thing and interpret it in different ways. That's true. You're very true on that. And I'm not saying that if you don't believe in what I'm saying that you don't know what you're talking about. It is just I'm just stating that, when it comes to the law, there's really not not much room for misinterpretation. It is what it states. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's get on with this, and we'll talk a little bit more on what we're talking about because I like the topic that you brought up, Jeff. Um, the white truck, the white truck that everybody has seen drive up and park after Maddie, Kaylee, and Jack walk past that camera that parks under that tree. It looks a lot to resemble that truck that's right there on the street by that dumpster. And you and I
Right.
have talked about this before. What is what do y'all think in the chat? Do you think that that's the same truck that pulled up and parked after they walked past that camera? Just give me
That's a hard one, I would think, because I mean, white trucks, pickup trucks, especially in that area, I'm sure are just extremely common. I mean, if white Elantras are extremely common, white pickup trucks are, you know, doubly so.
well, there's two
It's
white trucks in this picture alone. You're right on that.
right. What are the chances?
And it looks like there's a white truck next door in the driveway. I know that's a
Yeah.
little car to the right, but to the left, I don't have my glasses on, but that looks like a truck to me. I don't know. It
I
does
think, you
look
know,
like
you ever think about like what the way you felt when you first heard. I know when I first heard when it was following the case, everybody was talking about. I think it was one of the jacks, and then we got the word. Actually, I remember the first word was they. I think it was one of the YouTubers. I don't want to dox him, but or say who he was. But he was saying he put out a name, and I was googling and I was grabbing pictures of this guy off Facebook, and it was the wrong guy. And then we got the name, you know, Brian Koberger. But do you remember how you felt when it was like, oh my gosh, we were all talking about it must be one of the jacks, and then what?
yeah,
They made an arrest in Pennsylvania.
high golf
It's like
inspector.
how did you get to there?
Yes,
Hey,
exactly.
golf.
You know, there was like three Jacks, a Jake, and two Davids.
Yeah.
Almost like you had a full house, right? All you needed was the king and the queen.
Oh
And
man, I know. There's what are the? Is that all coincidence? I mean, King, Queen, Queen Road, King Road, the
I mean,
Jacks.
I'm with you on that, Jeff. As far as the Elantras, I mean, whenever you started seeing all the white vehicles, you know, there is a lot of white vehicles in that town. I mean, just from having watching people's streams of being boots on the ground or whatever, you notice in the background there's so many white vehicles, so many different same trucks, you know, loud trucks, this, that, and the other.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't seem like the thing that will be critical because, like, when I think about the Elantra that I see, especially the one, you know, the fourth pass where it pulls in and it sits there and shows you the passenger side of the car, and you can see the shape, pretty much the full shape of that side window. That is a very unique shape. It's similar to a Tesla, but a Tesla is much taller in the full shape of the side window. I mean, I don't doubt that that is an Elantra. I mean, when I did the overlay and I put it over there, I didn't have to stretch it or do anything to make it fit. I just sized it and put it on top, and it fits like a glove. So at least that fourth pass is an Elantra. Now, when I
Right.
listen to the engine sounds, especially, I don't know if you listen to my channel, I did back to back. Like I took like maybe 2 or 3 seconds of the first pass, cuts right to the second pass, to the third, to the fourth, to the fifth, so you can hear them without space in between. To me, they sound quite similar. I mean, it's not like. And what's interesting is like from 1 a.m. to say 4:20, I checked on there to see how many cars you see drive past the Linda Lane camera. From
Right.
1 a.m. to 4:20, there's only 7 passes of a moving vehicle that you visually see with your eyes. 5 of them are what I believe are the Elantra. The other 2, or one guy parks, he comes in the same way that the 5 passes comes in, but he parks right at the end of that fence, and then The other one is coming from the far left side and actually goes around the Queen Road apartment building in the opposite direction. So, 5 of 7 are believed to be this Elantra. And if you, the thing, well, that's the point I was trying to make. Those 5 sound the same to me, the engine. The other
Right.
2 sound different, which is what I was hoping. Part of me when I do this type of thing is like to try and debunk it. It's like, okay, these five engine sounds, if they all sound different, then I'm going to say, hey, this is not the same car, obviously. But when they all sound the same, I mean, what conclusion should I come to?
Exactly. Hey, is there any way that you could? I know you're an audio visual guy. Is there any way that you could zoom in on that truck on that video of, them walking by that camera? Is there any way that you could zoom in and get some distinguishing?
Oh, the one with the what did you say to Adam
Yeah,
video? Yeah, let me see. I think I might.
yeah. Hey, don't move this video right quick. I want to ask you a question.
Sure,
Do you
sure.
see at the top right underneath the timestamp, it has like tracer lights. Underneath the tracers, you and I have discussed that car right there, right? When I first saw this picture, I thought that they had captured I thought that was the white Elantra they had captured in this still photo. Remember you and I talking about that?
Right, right.
I know now that it's not, but that looks like that little white car and now I'm sounding like a lot of people on there, but that looks like that little white car that they caught on the Exxon footage on the, that compact car that they caught.
Are there any guys coming in there with like a white jacket to put on you right now? Or
Not yet, not yet.
not yet? Okay, good. You're in good shape then.
But
Yeah,
did
I mean, the thing that
those tracers?
well, I always thought it was just somebody who, wrote on there underlining, like, be sure to see the date and time.
Okay.
That's what I always thought it was, because the whole image is made up of nothing but a grayscale. It's blacks, whites, grays in the middle. That's what makes up the whole picture. So the fact that it's got any orange or yellow, just says to me this is something added.
Yeah, I was really excited when I saw that white car because I thought, oh my God, this picture has the picture of the Elantra driving off. I
Right.
was so excited when I saw that picture, but then I'm like, you and
And
I just,
if you look, if you look on like Google Earth, I think I looked on there. This you can see my mouse, right? Yeah.
yeah,
This curb right here, I think, is painted yellow, like no parking from like here around to here. So
yes.
I believe this is just a parked car that's parked right at the edge of where you're allowed to park. I think that's all that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have heard many people say they thought this was maybe the car had taken off and was speeding off that way.
Yeah, I was excited when I saw that, but then you and I had talked about it, and I figured out my excitement was premature.
But if it's speeding off, it'll look like it has no wheels, right?
Jeff.
Sorry.
Golf Inspector has a question for you. She said, Jeff, what
Yeah.
is your take on the gas station car and the one found in Oregon? We know for a fact that it's an Elantra, and the former owner owned 1122 King Roadhouse. Just curious.
Yeah, I know that the Oregon car was connected to a woman in Colorado, and there was some kind of weird connection with the 112 LLC or King LLC that is kind of connected to a lot of the properties in that whole area. I think it was like 5 or 6 different properties. To be honest with you, I was on a live stream on Mommy Ramblings blog with Carolyn. She's been on doing this stuff for a long time. She's great. We had when that car was first found, the Oregon car that was wrecked and parked at that intersection just off on the sidewalk. There was a girl named Jennifer, I think, that had taken a bunch of little short videos, and they were being watched by everybody of that car. And I remember I was on Mommy Ramblings blog, and we were talking about it, and I said, I guess we had her Facebook account. So I sent her a message, and like in a half an hour, as we're talking about it, she emailed me back, and I said, "Why don't you come on the show?" And she came on the show, and she talked about what she'd seen, and I think she said she had a police officer husband, and she said she'd often noticed that like in that area, this was a known place where people would just kind of dump their cars, and they'd sit there forever, and take forever for them to really do anything about it. But I remember she went down. She came on a panel, and then she said, "Yeah, we were asking her, so the car's still there?" She said, "Yeah, it's still sitting there. I drove past it earlier." She offered to go hop in the car, which she did. Hopped in the car. This was like in midnight. Drove down there, and showed the car to us live. I'll tell you what. To be honest, I did not even believe her at first because I thought this is somebody just wanting 15 minutes of fame, and the whole thing I thought might have been fake. Even when she was driving down to it, I said, "Now, Jen, just to make sure you're not just playing a video for us and you're punking us." I said, "Turn the camera to yourself, hold up 3 fingers." And so, because I knew, you can't pre-record that, right? And she turned the camera to herself, held up 3 fingers. And I was like, "Okay, I'm a believer." And she went there and she showed the inside of the car. There was one moment where we thought we saw like a hair, like perhaps a female hair in the car, and we thought, "Oh my gosh, this might be it." But there was all kinds of other stuff, like the air conditioner vent under the glove compartment was all like disassembled. Apparently there was a homeless guy had slept in there. I think there was some prescription stuff in there. There was also, we were looking into everything. There was even a parking pass from a twin something hotel, and I even called to like 2 different hotels in the area, trying to find out information about this parking pass. And they told me, "Well, we haven't used that parking pass in quite a long time. That's a very old parking pass." I was like, "Oh, okay. It's just been up under the glass, the windshield, forever." But even
Jeff,
during that live stream, I know. Oh, sorry, I'm rambling. Hey,
you're
mommy, I'm
okay.
talking about Mommy Rambling's blog. So I remember there was some connection somebody made somehow to the car being connected to, somebody named Dan Esty at 1112. But then, I think the next night we tried to recreate it, and nobody could figure out, wait, what was the connection to, the 112 King LLC? And I still to this day, I can't replicate that. And I don't know if we were just all Googling stuff and things got mixed up, but we weren't the only ones that made that connection. So I don't know, but I do know it sat there for a long time. And they said that Moscow police was aware of it, and it had nothing to do with, with the murder and the crime up in this area. So
Let me ask you a question, Jeff. Do you believe that, how quick people are, to say, well, this is nefarious or this has this and that and the other? Do you believe that viewing that video, did it look like somebody went to the extreme to get rid of anything? Did it look like, or did it look just like a messy car? Because I'm about to pull up the broken window, and we're gonna look at that. But do you believe you saw the video? Okay, so
of the wrecked Elantra.
yeah, this is the wrecked Elantra. This is the broken window. And do you believe that it looked like somebody was in a hurry? I'm not trying to make up things, or did it look like a messy person's car?
Yeah, no, it. Thinking back on it, I'm trying to find. I thought I captured the video of that night. I have it here somewhere.
See, because if it would have been wrecked right there, what would it have hit?
Well, apparently it was involved in an accident at the intersection, and then they moved the car over. I think it was referred to Oh, what was it? It was something like a. I think I have it somewhere. They refer to it something as like what I take from it, at least from my memory, is that it was just, it was people on their way to work and they got into this fender bender. They just left it there to be dealt with, later. But there was nothing. It didn't look like. I don't know. Like I said, the only thing that we were going on, and we're looking at everything, trying to say, is there anything that means anything? And I remember it's just that piece of hair that was on the floor of the passenger side. It was like a long piece but it was like a brown hair.
See, this is what we would have been seeing through that broken glass. This is what the world sees.
Yeah,
You get what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying, Jeff?
yeah,
Like we saw a broken window, we saw glass on the seat, and this and that and the other. But this is what the world, who is interested in this case, this is what they see.
Well, and the other thing too, it looked, we were talking about it. I remember that it had no license plates on the front or back. So we were like, oh, they did this to try and mask, the nefarious stuff that they were up to. But I think it's just one of those things when your car's in an accident, you have to, and it's totaled. It appeared, I guess they figured it's totaled. You got to take off your license plates and return them to the, Motor Vehicle Administration. So I think
mean,
that's,
it was a heck of a wreck. Like, you would have thought somebody would have been injured in that kind of a wreck.
and I wouldn't be surprised too if law enforcement, like when Moscow called and it's like, hey, we're just checking this out, and then Oregon said, yeah, we looked at the video of the wreck, and we've got the name of the person, we've got, so I would imagine there's a possibility of, it's there was explanation, they checked it out, it isn't involved, and they just moved on.
Hold on a second. I want to play this. I've never seen this, so no telling what's all on this. But let me play this right quick, okay? Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
A 2013 Elantra was abandoned on busy West 7th Avenue in Eugene, Oregon. It's 460 miles from Moscow, Idaho, where the 4 college roommates were slain. There's extensive damage to the front of the vehicle, and look, the license plate has been removed. Why? That sticker says Rainbow. Could that be a dealership? The suspicious vehicle was reported Saturday at 5:18 a.m. A Eugene police spokesman says, we have sent the vehicle information to Moscow, Idaho police. And get this, one of the murder victims, Madison Mogan, was born in Eugene. Inside Edition spoke to News Nation's Brian Enton.
I've seen pictures from the inside. There's all sorts of wrappers and receipts and papers. That could be evidence. There could be fingerprints. There could be DNA evidence. If this is connected, and that's a big if, there's a lot of evidence that they could find in that car.
For the last 2 weeks, detectives investigating the murders have been looking for a white 2011 to 2013 Elantra, saying the driver or passengers have critical information. A car can be a goldmine of forensic evidence. It's not clear how long the Elantra had been there, but Eugene police tell Inside Edition a homeless person was sleeping in it. And you could see where someone has broken a window to open the passenger door.
Everybody's hoping that it could be a breakthrough.
Has the most.
So there's a video kind of showing a little bit of what Jeff was talking about. That's interesting to say the least. I mean, obviously they probably combed over it with a fine-tooth comb, That's pretty interesting, wouldn't you say, Jeff?
Yeah. I'm just now looking for, I think I can find the Mommy Ramblings episode where.
Okay. Hey, I'm going to ask the chat something while you're looking that up. Hey, chat.
Okay.
There's plenty of you in here finally. I'm going to ask you a question. You notice how Brian Enton was talking about rappers and a car being a good place for evidence. And you know how that reporter said, it's interesting that Madison Mogan's from Eugene, Oregon. Do you see how people want to put things together that really may or may not have anything to do with each other than coincidental? Do y'all see that? Because it's easy to do that. It's easy to say, okay, Madison Mogan was from Eugene, Oregon, so that's a white Elantra. So was that Brian's car? But then they found Brian's car. So there's no way that could have been the killer's car, because supposedly Brian's car is the one that was circling the 1122 King Road house. But do you see how quickly mainstream media and other places want to connect the dots so quickly, because they want the scoop. They want that instant gratification to give to the audience. Do y'all see that? Yes or no? Are y'all still here?
Hey, hey, I found the video. If you want to watch some of it, just tell me when you want to, pause or. Let me stop sharing that one. Share
Yeah,
screen.
go ahead and bring it up, and I'll put it on the screen. Good.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to show you guys is, a lot of time it could be nothing, and then it could be anything. It's very. But if you dig far enough, you're gonna see 6 degrees of separation between a lot of things in life.
And so this is from Mommy Ramblings blog. That's the name of her YouTube channel, run by Carolyn, and we already talked to her about using this, so she's given us permission, as long as we made sure to mention her. So this is I'm remembering, I think her name is Jen, that lived in the area. She had already taken video of the car. It had gotten around to the news stations and been seen a lot. So she Facebook messaged us, got on panel, and then offered to go drive out there. This is like around 1 at night. So this little, you see my mouse? That's the car right there. She's coming up to the intersection where it is. So
Yeah, go ahead and play it.
here we go.
Very understaffed.
Oh, I see it.
Right there.
But as big as this case
Wow.
is, doesn't somebody from Moscow come down here and
Exactly.
The FBI.
Unless
The FBI was
unless
beyond
Moscow just knows it's not related, and I don't know.
There's no way that there's something is related to that. That's so suspicious like that.
Yeah.
Something happened there.
Mhm.
No, she's driving right now, Lex Luthor.
She's driving to the area, Lex. She's
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna
So
go.
it-
I'm gonna actually go and walk up to the car.
This is
Wow.
live, Lex. This is live right now.
no, this is not pre-recorded. This is live.
Hey, Christine. Glad I can make you laugh.
actually, Jen, to prove that it's not pre-recorded, can you point the camera at yourself and hold up 3 fingers? No, seriously, because if people, that's what I was thinking
No.
earlier. Like, this is old footage, and
Yeah.
But I mean, this is legitimately, this is your phone camera. We can see that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't
We're
be
talking
able to play
to
a vid.
And
There's another car parked out here.
But still, hold up 3. See? Okay.
She
There you
did.
go. I am sold. I'm convinced. Again, I'm on my knee. I'm apologizing for. Yeah.
They're wanting to know what
So she parked kind of far away, which I don't know. She said she didn't want to park near the car because she thought a police officer might come up, and it's like, and we're like, this is what we want. We want a police officer to check this out.
time it is by you, Jen.
It's 1:58 in the morning.
Oh, okay. 2 hours behind us here by the Chicago area. We're 3:58 a.m.
5 in Massachusetts. Yep.
It's like a. Another car.
Johnny, they have a lot of tips, and I'm sure they
5 a.m. initiative.
already run the VIN number and everything.
Right, Donnie? I hear you.
Just watching this, I'm getting goosebumps. I can't imagine being there live.
This is just insane.
And they could very well be checking it out, and we just don't know.
What was
Can
that
you-
vehicle that just drove by? Just a,
It's a very
Not a-
suspicious Explorer, or yeah, it looked like they had a piece of wood hanging out of the window. They probably stole it from Home Depot.
What's the temperature over there, Jen? Is it pretty mild or
Oh no, it's freezing. It's cold.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's pretty cold. Let's see if I can get down over here.
So this was live around December 20th, 2022, right? Yeah, December 20th, 2022.
All right, just be careful, okay?
yeah, this is, why do you couldn't have just parked right behind it? This just seems like you got to walk a
No, I would have had to go right up on the side of the street, and then I probably would have gotten pulled over, and you know.
Yeah.
Well, that would get a police officer there at the car, like there ought to be.
Yeah, and me ticketed for probably parking there.
Your husband can get you off. He's a cop, right?
No,
Oh, that's the other one. That's the other
No,
one.
that's the other lady, Jeff.
Oh, this is somebody new.
No, this is Jen.
This is Jen.
With the
Oh,
video.
the other lady has got the cop for husband. Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah, the other lady's in
Yeah,
Moscow.
she's in Eugene.
Hi,
I'm in
Boxy in
Moscow.
the boxy.
So for any
Yeah, be careful. We'll stay with you. We're not going to leave you alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this does need priority attention, Janice. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
For people coming in, what's happened is the car was found in Eugene, Oregon. It looks very suspicious. It is a Hyundai Elantra, and it sort of matches what the year they're looking for in the IDAHO4 case. It's people are talking about it in this Facebook group. Police have been notified. Car is still sitting there. This is the person that recorded the video.
Guys.
Yep, this is the person, Jen. She's taking us back to the location. This is live.
Live at the scene.
We've done the 3-finger test to prove that.
We've done the 3-finger test.
It has
That sounded
been sitting there
bad.
for 24 hours.
That doesn't sound right at all, does it? What was I
Janelle
thinking?
Keene, we're not doing that now about the car owner and all that stuff. We're looking at the car right now. Thank you.
So this is the front.
Look at that, guys.
Wow.
Wow. This is
There's
awesome,
a shirt
Jen.
sitting here. This is here earlier.
Oh, a shirt there?
Yeah, it's a size small, I believe.
Oh my. Okay.
Looks like somebody's already been looking in the window right there.
Yeah, see, they're already messing with this, man. They need to get somebody out there
Yeah.
So
trying to steal parts out of
oh,
it.
right there, there's a like visor.
They are the visors right on the seat.
Yeah. I'm not,
Mhm.
yeah.
What is
The
that
driver's
black?
seat
What
all
is
the
the
way-
black thing across the seat?
That
There's a belt laying right there, and then
A
up
belt?
the middle.
Thanks.
Hey, that looks like a K-bar.
no.
No, it's just a regular belt that goes
Wow.
around the waist. Like, yeah.
Jeff, that looks like a K-bar.
That's weird.
It is.
Yeah. And
So
see,
creepy.
Video reel, she'll show
Man.
us there. She's taking us all around the car.
Just wait, chill, everybody. Just calm down, okay? Everything's fine.
That looks
This
just
car
like the
is a
car.
2013, I believe.
What is that? Is that dirt around the doors?
yeah, it looks like it's been over the past. That's what's so curious about it. Like, it
Was
definitely
that
looks like
dirt?
oh, that's all dirt.
Hmm.
And see, this is the handprints where you can see that they removed the license plate.
Huh.
Oh
Right
my
there.
God.
Huh.
Yeah,
And you said there was a handprint right on the.
right
Yeah,
there.
she just said.
Right here.
See it right there.
Oh my God.
Oh wow, yeah, I see it. Wow.
What the heck, man? This is really weird.
I don't think it can be the right car, or wouldn't they have impounded it by now?
I don't know.
It's off the side of the road.
No,
so-
because they're getting like 10,000 calls a day. on different cars, you know.
Listen,
But this might be the one.
The lady talking right now, her name's Jordan.
No, her name is Jen.
Jen,
No,
The other
is
lady.
it in
Oh, the other lady
Moscow?
is Jordan. Okay.
Yeah, she lives in Moscow. She's married to a police officer. Just
There's also that.
Who doesn't tell me
Permit.
nothing.
Oh, where's that? Wait,
Even
hold
though
on.
I bug him and bug him and
Wait,
bug
Jordan,
him.
Jordan, for 1 minute. Where's that parking pass to it? Do you know where that's?
It is inside, and I don't.
It says something about POW or something. Am I seeing?
Parking permit, something wood,
Oh, wood.
Westwoods, maybe?
Does it have a date? Has a date on it?
That's as good as I can see.
no license.
Hmm. Oh, PGW is the window. Okay.
Yeah.
PGW, yeah.
Can I give you a better idea of where it's parked at? This is a fence.
Yeah, we checked that parking permit out. I think it was like Candlewood Suites or something like that. And all the ones in the area that I called, I think I even called them in Colorado, because there was a connection to this car in Colorado, and they said that this is a parking pass that they haven't used in a very long time.
Hey,
Oh,
did
wow.
that
Well, they want to
shit
see
emoji? Is that an air freshener?
Yeah, I think actually,
It's a better.
I think that's the rear view mirror was ripped off the inside windshield and is just sitting there on the front
wood.
outside of the car.
Oh, wood.
Let me back it up a little bit.
I bug him and bug him and
Wait,
bug
Jordan,
him.
Jordan, for 1 minute. Where's that?
Yeah, see there's a rear view mirror.
Okay, yeah. I
So you can
that.
see this is the where I think.
So
mounts
it's
to the
obvious. It
windshield.
looks like a woman's. It would be more of a woman's car.
Yeah, judged by the air fresheners. Probably this is for the boyfriend, the ex-boyfriend.
Where's that
What's
parking
the
pass to
red
it?
stuff?
Do you know where that's?
It is inside.
What's the what?
What the red stuff? Windshield is asking what the red stuff.
We're on
to a police officer. Just
where'd you see red
There's
stuff?
also that.
Who doesn't tell me
Permit.
nothing.
Oh, where's that? Wait,
Even
hold
though
on.
I bug him and bug him and
Wait,
bug
Jordan,
him.
Jordan, for 1 minute. Where's that parking pass to it? Do you know where that's?
It is inside, and I don't.
It says something about POW or something. Wait, am I seeing?
Parking permit.
Windshield was messing
something
with
wood.
Oh, wood.
Westwoods, maybe?
Does it have a date? Has a date on it?
That's as good as I can see.
no license.
Hmm. Oh, PGW is the window. Okay.
Yeah.
PGW, yeah.
Can I give you a better idea of where it's parked at? This is a fence.
I think that 20 on there might have been the year, if I remember right.
Hmm.
So it's a very old parking pass, I think.
Oh, PGW is the window. Okay.
Yeah.
PGW, yeah.
Can I give you a better idea of where it's parked at? This is a fence.
Oh, wow.
Well, they want to see the hair.
Wow, Jen's a better detective than they are.
Look at that. 120, it says. Something 120. It's old.
The hair.
Yeah, they want to see that hair, Jen.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see it.
Yeah,
right now.
wasn't there part
Maybe
of a
it
weave
blew
or
over.
I'm sure people are going to come by there, try to steal parts out of that car. It's a
Probably.
bad
There's
area.
there's like another. No, that's a smart water that was there. Hmm.
Hey, Jeff, pause it a
Where's the
second.
hair? Let's look.
I remember seeing a picture of the passenger side floorboard, and I think there was like a part of a weave. You know, like the extensions, hair extensions.
Yeah, that's what it. I think that's what it was. I think you're right.
Yeah, hair
Like just a
extensions.
strand.
Yeah.
I think they might be about to show that. And I'm trying to figure out. I think maybe the audio is delayed. No, it couldn't be because the three fingers was in sync. I don't know. Oh no, you know what? I think one of the women on here tended to watch from YouTube and was delayed because of that. So like, I
Okay.
think some of her comments are a little delayed.
Winchill asked, hey, hold on, Jeff. Winchill asked,
Mhm.
did you see goggles and red stuff on the passenger floor?
No, I don't remember seeing anything like that. We can watch it if there's any spot where you want to pause it to get a better look at the floor. And these women,
Rondi
this is
asked who these women are.
yeah, this is Carolyn. Carolyn's got a YouTube channel called Mommy Ramblings Blog, and she's been doing YouTube for a long time. And she was one of the first people that I think maybe the first live stream I ever went on was with them. And they're great. They're a great bunch of people. They've been doing this together. It's like a family reunion every time I go over there. All the same people are there. They're a lot of fun. And but yeah, we were following the case then, and just got lucky. And this Jen person that lived out there near the car, just like a couple minutes away, was willing to drive out there and be on the live on the panel showing us what she saw.
Come on, Paula, you got to one up them. You got to go get me some video. Are you still in here?
Isn't there something on the seat that's red?
That's the heartburn medication or something.
Omeprazole, it says.
Yeah, and the black is the tint from right here.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, what's that?
Tinted windows.
Right now.
Can you see
Whoa.
what?
She got a good shot when she put it in there a little bit. Just be careful. Don't drop your phone in the car.
Oh my gosh.
God.
What, guys?
Nothing's good. Can you see what's in the back seat at all? Can you? Oh, look at the handprint on the window.
But that has to be new from somebody.
Oh, probably.
Somebody messing around. What were you guys seeing when you said something? I was telling Dave good night.
She just said she got a good shot.
Oh my!
Was it there? I don't know if
Yeah.
Is this
See, it looks like they tore the glove box off. If the homeless guy did that, or they did that on leaving, you know what I mean? Really quickly.
Right. Yeah, I don't know if this is if it's just the glove box. Yeah, maybe it is just the glove box. My memory of this video was that it was part of like some air conditioner unit, but I think you're right.
Hey, I also asked you, do you think that do you think the law enforcement dusted for prints or looked for DNA, or just kind of said, well, it's not the car, let's not even bother?
Yeah, I don't know. I remember seeing photos and video of, the police tow truck, there
Windshield
to
says,
remove
look
the car.
at 3 o'clock. Look at 3 o'clock, and you'll see the goggles.
At 3 o'clock on the time.
No, on the floor. Look at 3. Like, think of a clock. Go to the middle of the floor.
So the middle of the floor, and then somewhere in this area.
Yes. Do you see the goggles?
Let me turn the volume down a little bit and then just hit play.
I don't see
any.
Yeah, I know.
Let me back it up a little.
Golf. I thought the same thing.
Oh my!
And I don't think I can zoom in at all, can I?
I about went through Y yesterday, but ran out of time. Maybe tomorrow. I wanted to check cell coverage, but I recently watched a video from someone that went there and cell was good. Awesome. If you get it and you're good with it, we can show it on here.
Yeah, I know.
It probably blew over. It's super windy right now.
Oh, go home, go in. That's good.
Yeah, I didn't see any goggles at the time, and Jen being right there on the scene didn't say anything about goggles.
It doesn't. I don't. How would it be towed there though?
It didn't wreck into anything here. There's no damage to this pole. There's no damage anywhere around here.
It's like it was just dropped off there.
It was. It's dumped here.
If it was towed there, they would be towed to. Like, is there a car repair shop anywhere near there? No.
Maybe that's why the fender's off.
Hey, those are some good points they just brought up. There's no broken glass on the ground. There's no pieces of the car to show. Like when you get into a wreck, you see all the little plastic pieces of a car, glass shards, stuff like that. There's none of that around that car.
I mean, my thought was, and I'm trying to remember an article that I saw how it described the accident and what kind of accident it was. But I would imagine they had the accident. Maybe the car still was running enough to put it in reverse and get it out of the roadway, and then they had the the other vehicle that may have been worse off and maybe had to get towed and couldn't be left there. So
What if it was
and I'm sure
another? What if it was another white Elantra, a 2015 Elantra? Na 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 na.
and a third one just nearly got into the scuff, the mix. So
There was videotaping the accident. That was a 2011 one.
yeah, now they have on the corner over here to the left, like the view that she's looking at right now, just to the left is I think it's a Panda Express on the corner.
Yeah.
I think we were looking at to see how many cameras were on the side of the building, if they might have caught, captured any glimpse of that accident.
Yeah, Goff. I don't know if you saw the video, the little music video that I made the other day. I put a lot of different Elantras on there, and it even showed some other cars. I'm with you on that. I've never said anything, but I'm with you on that thought. I second that. Did you read what she said, Jeff?
What's that? Oh, let me see.
She said, I know not many will agree with me, but this car in Oregon had tinted windows, and so did the gas station car. I've had the thought this is the same car, comparing details from all angles.
See, the thing is, I hear a lot of people talk about the tinted windows, but from the Linda Lane camera that's gone into infrared mode, and from the crappy quality of the gas station, it seems to me like any car is going to look like it's got tinted windows. It just, I don't see. I couldn't say for sure that I think, oh yeah, this car has tinted windows. Right. I just think it's dark. They don't have their dome light on inside the car. There's nothing to show, unless it's is everybody looking at the Linda Lane footage and saying, okay, we should see that light that's on the opposite side of the car coming through the window. I don't know, but I don't.
Well, based on what some other people might think, Golf, and I'm just being facetious right now. That car in front of the Exxon was on floor jacks with no tires. So there's that. And yeah, but I agree with you, Golf. I agree with you 100%. I do agree with what you're saying. And Jeff has a photo or a video of the car. You know that video she's talking about, Jeff, where you see the back part, where you see the back part of that car, where we were looking through the gas pumps, and you see the white car.
Yeah.
Do you still have that?
Yeah. I'll just leave that playing. I don't know I think she's going home now.
That's awesome. We can do that, Golf. Most definitely.
Yeah, I need to be a little more organized with all my files for Idaho, but I did move them all onto one external hard drive. So now it's easier to at least search. It's got to be in this one place. So yeah, here it is, second gas station photo.
I would say that before that car went on jack stands, it could possibly have had the same tires and rims. But for some reason, somebody was desperate for some new tires that night and jacked up that Elantra in the middle of the road and stole those tires.
Yeah, so there's the third, I call it the third gas station photo, because for the longest time...
Okay, Paul, thank you.
In the beginning, there were three photos that I was always familiar with seeing. And then as time went on, it's like this third one, I could not find it anywhere. And then somebody was kind enough to send it to me. I think they heard us talking about it, and they emailed it to me. It's like, yes, that's the picture I remember seeing. And we were talking about, so this is the other shots were taken, when the car was back this way, and I think taken from the camera that's on the back of the building on the car wash exit. I think it's that camera took that picture. This is from obviously a camera that's on the front of the gas station. And this is the car. It's sitting at the stoplight. This is Highway 8 This is East White Avenue, and East White Avenue, once you cross over Highway 8, turns into Steiner. Is it Steiner Road or Steiner Avenue?
Steiner Avenue.
And and Steiner takes you directly in the direction of 112 King
Taylor,
Road, right?
yeah. Yeah, it takes you right to Taylor.
So, yeah, the question is like,
yeah, Jeff and I even, I think we Google mapped this, and we even compared with the overlay on that concrete little barrier with the railing as to what street that was, because him and I got into a little discussion about, I didn't agree with him that the car was going the wrong or in a different direction.
Right.
In a different direction, and we kind of pulled up Google Maps, and we came to the conclusion that the car was going the direction that he had stated. And you're welcome, Golf. Anything I can do to help you.
Oh, here's this is a good photo. I did a comparison photo with the back of Brian's car just before he got pulled over in Indiana. So just to kind of, this might be better to view. You still get the view of the gas station photo, a zoom in of the gas station photo, and then, you know, that's actually Brian's car just prior to being pulled over in Indiana. That's a shot from the police car. That's,
you know, Jeff, I know
behind.
you and I had discussed this on the live video that we were on, and I'm not trying to kick a dead horse here, but you notice how different, how shallow on the left-hand side, how the parking lights, how shallow that white panel is compared to the Elantra.
Mm-hmm.
You see how, I mean, the ground effects are just as low, but the panel seems to be a little more shallow than the one on the right-hand side, the Elantra, compared to the gas station photo. I know it's at an angle, but the lights look bigger than they do on the Elantra. Both lights look bigger. The middle of the lights, that little area looks like it has a dip. And Murphy's in the back seat. No. No, so I had to cut. Hey, I was building up the suspense. But do you see how it's round? It's more shallow than it is on the Elantra. The Elantra looks a lot rounder than that one does. I mean, I'm not saying
it's
that's not the car.
It's
but,
too difficult to figure. Here's the thing, though. This is just like, you know, we've all talked for hours and hours on what we think we see on Linda Lane, and then the police sit there and laugh at us eating their, I don't know, that's stereotyping. I was picturing him with coffee and a donut. But look, sitting there with a coffee and a donut, and they've seen the light bulb camera, so they see the initial entrance of the car. It goes past the Linda Lane camera. They have no doubt what kind of car it is. The police went to this gas station and got the footage. They didn't go to the gas station and get these still pictures we're looking at. They have the footage. So I know it's a hard concept to imagine, but that car earlier, as it's back, it's going to be a little bit bigger, and it's probably going to be clearer. And they've also got the side camera view from from the car wash at the back of the building. So they've seen this car in motion. So they've either already discounted and said this is not an Elantra, or they say this is an Elantra. I mean, the best thing that I could do was take the timestamps of the 5 passes by the Linda Lane camera and say, is it possible for this same car to get to that gas station and back and then be seen 5 times on the Linda Lane camera? I thought I was going to be clever, and I thought I was going to debunk it. I thought, I've got it. This is going to debunk it. It's going to prove it's impossible. And there's plenty time for it to get to the gas station and get back and be seen on the Linda Lane camera 5 times. So,
hey Jeff, can you somehow, like when you have time, you know, and you're kind of bored or whatever, can you do the Oregon Elantra next to the Exxon one, like you have this? Like put those two cars side by side.
Yeah,
I
but
know
you
that.
know, the only thing that you're going to see is the only difference between a 2011 to 2013 versus 2014 to 2016 on the back of the car is this little red reflector light and this one. On the 2014, they separated them. They put them way out to the sides. On the 2011 to 2013, they're in closer. That's the only difference on the back. And on the front, it's you know, it's those lower left and right like fog light looking things. It's the shape of
Yes, I
those.
do.
The later years,
Well,
they
I
look like
mean,
the shape of a boomerang.
looking at this car, and you and I had this discussion. So, like I said, I don't want to beat a dead horse. We went at least a couple of hours in the middle of the night discussing this. So, if y'all want to see that episode, it's called the White Elantra. It's in my library. So, Jeff and I have had this discussion, and I'm glad he brought these photos up because it does bring good conversation. Because if you're looking at these, you have to take into account too. One's at night and one's in the day. So the bouncing of light, natural light on the car, is going to distort one as well. So, you know, the car on the left doesn't have sunlight bouncing off of it. It has the brake lights, you know, on. So the one on the right does not. So that kind of adds to the distortion. And also the pixels of the image is different. Like one's clearer than the other. Like if we had the one on the left as clear as the one on the right, there'd be no doubt. I mean, it is clear at the top, but as you enlarge it, it kind of loses. What's it called, Jeff? Pixelation or something like that?
Yeah,
What's the big
it's
word?
unfortunate. It's crap. It's crap quality. But like I said, when that car, you know, 10 seconds earlier, it was more in the right side of the frame, probably closer to the light coming from the gas station. You know, this is, and the thing is, golf makes a good point that, you know, that some of these cameras don't hold this footage forever. But I think the police went out to this gas station at 802 Troy Road and snatched up that video footage right after, you know, getting the still pictures that the gas station employee took from the screen. So I'm thinking that they have actual video because it happened right around the same time.
Well, what I can tell you without a doubt, because I've had many vehicles with tinted windows, even dark tinted windows, versus vehicles without them, you can definitely see a difference, whether it's nighttime or daytime. Like you can see at the Elantra on the right, it does not have tinted windows. There's no doubt that it does not, because if it did, you wouldn't see that little white, shadowy portion of the cloud that you see on the left-hand door toward the driver's side, or the driver's side rear window, or rear wind.
You're saying because you can kind of see through the window.
Yes, you can see through the windows, so you can tell that does not have tint.
Right.
Now the back window might have a little bit of tint, but the driver's side door does not.
Right.
And the one
I couldn't say with, you know, but at night I can't determine unless you put a bright light on the other side of the car and shined it through. Then I could determine whether it's got.
Do your vehicles have tinted windows?
I think, I mean, it's got like just what comes with a vehicle, nothing added.
Yeah, most of them do have that little bit of natural tint, kind of that little bitty tint, but the one on the left definitely has darker tint. You know, so Koberger does not have tinted windows. It looks like his comes with factory tint.
But I mean, when you look at that car on the left, I mean, you look at the wheels. The wheels are black as well, or dark. I mean, they're not tinted wheels, so that's why I'm saying I see no difference in the wheels showing up as black.
Most people would not, unless that's something that you find of importance for your vehicle. Like I've always wanted dark tint for for the windows because I don't like not having. I live in Texas, so it's hot. So I make sure that I get the darkest allowed to keep the car cooler. You know what I mean? So
Right,
if
right.
it's not a preference that you kind of go towards, you're not really going to notice that stuff. That's what I'm saying, Jeff. I'm not saying
Also,
that.
too, you know, you got Sarge is here in the chat, and even though he blocks me on his show, I love Sarge. But Sarge actually it was a long phone call we had, and Sarge educated me on these reflectors on the bumper as that these are the determining factors for what year this is, because these two reflectors are spaced way far apart to the outer edges. That's the later model. That's 14 to 16. 11 to 13 is they're in closer, and I think they're up under this curved area is where they're located, right in the top corners of the curved area. But I mean, look at those reflectors. If this is an Elantra on the left, it truly is an Elantra. Okay, tell me based on those reflectors what year it is. And I think you'll see instantly what trouble the FBI expert initially had with the limited footage that he had to look at, he or she. And
Okay, yeah, I get you. I get you. I mean,
but once you start seeing the other video,
I'm not trying to start an argument here. I'm just saying that, you know, I'm showing you right here. Can y'all see that? I'm going to show you. See the back of this vehicle right here. It has tinted windows and it's dark. So you cannot see anything in there. The same way with this one. Like it's at an angle, and it's at an angle where the light would be shining on it, where you'd see the reflection of the light on the tint. Or if it wasn't tinted, you see the reflection of the light, and you'd see a little bit on the inside of the vehicle, which you can't do that on that one. Let me see if it shows it.
Got an itch for a brand new GMC Sierra? Scratch it at Northern Quest. It's the Scratch to Win Sierra giveaway. Play daily with your Camus Rewards card, and it could be yours on June 28th.
We agree to disagree, right?
No,
Right
I
now, our
I
other
don't
top
doubt you.
story, an update in the murder
I'm just not
investigation
sure.
for University of Idaho students. Here are top.
Let me see. Here's a better shot. This one's at night. And I know it's hard because all these are pictures and all these cameras, they either have great pixelation or they have the grainy, sucky kind of when you zoom in on something. Here's a different angle kind of. You see how, like on the one that you had up there, you see how dark that one is that you have up here?
On the upper left? Wait, let me see a little bit.
And that, I mean, that is definitely tinted windows. Because if it wasn't tinted, you would be able to see a silhouette of the driver.
Even when he's sitting in the dark without the dome light on or anything lighting him?
Yes, even if he was sitting in the dark, you would be able to see a silhouette of a driver. That's why police officers will pull you over if it's too dark, because they want to be able to see if you're doing anything illegal in there. If you're smoking weed, if you have weapons or anything like that. I mean, I don't know what the laws are in Idaho, but in Texas, that would be considered limo tent, and it would be too dark. They would have pulled that car over.
Or you could be in the car live streaming on your 12
or
Phillips
texting
channel.
or whatever. I mean, because golf inspector says I've worked on this photo and have a silhouette of 3 people in the car. That'd be awesome to see. I mean, and as we talked about, Jeff, and I don't know if you agree on this or not, but this might not even have anything to do with the crime. They were
Right.
looking for a white Elantra. This could have been a car that just happened to go by. This lady got it at this date and this time. And because the LE never confirmed that this was the vehicle. They never said it wasn't. So they didn't say one way or the other. So they left us hanging, so to speak.
Yeah, you don't want to see early in the investigation. This is what we were talking about. That car might be, if you share this photo. This was just from Google Earth or Google Maps.
The windows are super tinted, so it took some work. Leon, let's play nice. Let's not call anybody naive or stupid. I know you're not calling either one of us that, but if anybody else is naive or stupid, they could have taken offense to those words. But I'm glad you're here. Happy that you're in chat. How you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. So what do you
that'd
think
be cool.
about
Golf? If you got that, you ought to come up on panel and show that. That'd be cool to see. Yeah, this is the back of that gas station. This is the car wash, and so it's my belief that
Hey, hold
photo
on.
that they released is from here, from this
Go
camera.
back. Go back, Jeff. Go zoom out. Look at that white car.
Yeah, so that's what we were looking at for the longest time, and we were like, you know what? I bet that
Could that
car
be the
is nothing
car?
more. No, because we did look at it. The tail lights are right above the back wheel, and they're not. It's not quite a match.
That looks
But
like
we
that could be
definitely.
more that looks like that could be more the car to me than the Elantra.
It is a Hyundai Veloster, and not an Elantra, but it.
Can you zoom in
You
on
know,
that?
and some people were saying, "Oh, that's not it because look, it's got a black bra on the front of it." And it's like, well, this is an old Google Earth photo. Those things do come off. So,
Right. But do you
but
see
some would
how
say this isn't it because it's got wheels, right? Isn't that
right?
car
It's
doesn't have
not.
any
It's
wheels?
not on jack stand. It's not on jack
Yeah.
stand. But the reason I'm saying that because the car that you showed in the Exxon photo, to me, okay, this is just to me. I could be wrong. That little bit of the trunk, you see that specifically as the car is driving at that stop sign. You see that area right there clearly. You see that emblem sticks out where you can see it right there in the middle. And then you see the back part of the window. It doesn't look like it does on the Elantra. It looks long like that. And it looks like it has a little hatchback like that one. I didn't even
Now
know
the
this existed.
now the one from the gas station that they released, it doesn't have. See this has got a very smooth slope. The one from the gas station has a straighter one, and then it kind of cuts up at the very end. This one seems
Okay,
to be
well
going up.
let's say for argument reasons that this isn't the car. It looks more like a car like this than the Elantra to me.
Also, too, the one that this photo from the gas station that was released, it looks like the bumper well, it's hard to tell because it's it's a blur as it's going by, but it looks like the tail lights are at the back. Here, let me switch back over to it. So see how this has the bumper is way sticking out past the tail lights versus
I wish there was some way you could measure the car. That would tell you everything you needed to know. If you could
but it's
measure
so
the
hard
car,
to tell. It's a blur, so it's hard to know for sure. But I tell you what, I don't know why this person that worked at the gas station, they've got an iPhone, obviously. You can see the reflection of it in the computer monitor that she's pointing it at. iPhones take videos as well. Why didn't you take a video? Turn the camera on and hit play on the security footage and let us watch it.
why not? Why not leak it already? I mean, you have the original, just leak it. I'm sure she kept it. There's no way in hell that she would have deleted this photo or any kind of video that she took.
But
If
one
she
of the
did-
one of the things I was trying to do with this other photo here with the where you see the 3 shots that I believe came from the gas station.
Let me ask
It's
the
like-
chat a question. Hey, Chad, do you believe that car that Jeff just showed could have been more of a car like that than the Elantra, or do you believe that the car that's shown in that still photo is a Elantra? Type other or Elantra in the chat. Go ahead, Jeff.
So these are the 3 images. This is the one that everybody saw that was released. This one was also shown on a lot of newscasts that showed the time 3:45. And then this one was the more rare shot, which was from the front of the gas station. But I zoomed in to each of the 3 of them just to see like the grain pattern that came from the computer monitor that she was pointing her phone at. And you can see each of them have this similar, it's a vertical, especially these 2, the lines, the vertical lines from the monitor. So I was just trying to see if there's any way to be certain that these are all 3 from the same, from the same.
You
same
know what
photographer.
makes it? You know what makes this so bad? Is this person should have moved that arrow where you could see the 13. I know it looks like 13, but that could be another date.
Right. I was thinking that too. Yep.
I mean, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but I've listened.
Well,
to
but see,
people
it does say 13 here though. It's so if they were faking this or photoshopping it, they'd have to do
Right.
this. They'd put that there too. I think it's legit.
Yeah, it's legit.
Also too, this little cover for, I don't know, where the gas truck comes and puts the fuel into the ground. This cap right there is actually like in the lower left corner of this photo. And if you look on Google Earth, you can see it's still there. It's got this, it's a circular with 2 holes in it to, I guess, put a crowbar in to pop it up. But currently, if you look at it on Google Earth, it's actually, they've painted no parking over the top of it, but it's still there. That cap is still there, and it's right like in the lower left of.
You know what, Jeff? We were talking about evidence and probable cause and all that earlier. We're working way harder on this than the police work on this. We really are, because they do not go. People think, and they might or they might not, but what I've been prevalent to see, they do not work as hard as people are working hard to get clues to solve this.
Well, we got to work so hard because of the gag order, and I mean, we got a picture that's a car going by at what, like a 30th of a second. That's what we have to work with. Whereas they have the footage.
What I'm saying is, they could see the same car we're seeing. They could probably have been prevalent to the whole video. Whether or not it's a 2015 Elantra, if I say it's a 2015 Elantra and I have experts to back my play, it's a 2015 Elantra. That's my evidence to prove against anything that anybody else could say. You did it. I have other evidence putting you there. So that's what I'm saying, is people are putting so much work and trying to see extra things. Unless Brian's in that car or not in that car, it doesn't matter at this point.
Well, it reminds me when I was a little kid. Remember in the dentist's office, they had those little magazines where you'd have to find the little images inside the image.
Yeah.
It's like Where's Waldo? We're playing Where's Waldo, and yeah, maybe we're more passionate about it than some law enforcement as well.
Well, passion is one thing, but legality is a total different word. Wouldn't you rather be right in the side of the law than be passionate and be wrong?
Yeah. Hey, here's an interesting one. This I think I probably found after talking with Sarge and him teaching me how to tell the difference between what year, the years of the Elantra. Boom, boom. So this
I
is
got
good
about
because it
another
shows
10
you.
more minutes. I got about 10 more minutes, Jeff, and then I'm done. Okay, we
So
can
this
do
one's
part
cool.
2 on another night.
Yeah, so this one's cool because it shows you the front identifiers and the back. So you can see how the these reflectors. Actually, if you can hide, wait, let me see. It's kind of hidden underneath.
Let me move us, and we'll be
Move
able
our
to.
ugly mugs out of there.
Oh, there we are.
Hey.
There we are.
So yeah,
Hey.
these reflectors here. See on the earlier years, 11, 12, and 13. They're up under this, this shape of the bumper here, and then 14 and 15. You can see they moved them way out to the sides.
Yeah, and I've been focusing on that too as I've been looking at the Elantras. Is not only the reflectors, but they even instituted a dip in between those reflectors, like the 2015 that has a little dip indentation right there. You see that?
Oh yeah.
Beneath the reflectors.
Like they went with a lathe and carved it through. Yeah.
Yeah, the 14 doesn't have that as much. The
Well,
13,
then, and also, if you got only a view of the front, you can see that these little fog lights or corner lights are much smaller in the early years, and then by the time you get to 15, it's shaped like a boomerang. I mean, it's a very distinct boomerang. But let me ask you this: it's like, if your footage you're looking at is very dark, is probably in infrared mode. I mean, what are the chances you're going to get a good clear view of this boomerang shaped light on the front? Or these little reflectors on the back? I mean,
chances are, if they're good enough to have found that it wasn't Elantra, I'm pretty certain that that video at one point or another they were able to see the license plate, and they were probably able to track down that car and the driver. So maybe that's why we never really heard one way or the other, because maybe the car wasn't relevant.
now it might have had a bumper sticker on the back. Yeah. I might have had a bumper. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just being logical. You know what I mean? But instead of telling the public, hey, this isn't a car, leave it alone. Let's let them focus on this car, to let their attention be on this area so they can leave us alone while we're really focused on the area we know where there's evidence.
Although, if they only knew two things, if they knew that the moment they learned that Xana's last sign of life is 4:12 a.m., and they see this car speeding off away from that neighborhood at 4:21 a.m. Wait, do the math. What's 4:12 to 4:21? That's 9 minutes. That's less than 10 minutes from Xana's last sign of life. A car speeding away at that time, you want to know who's in that car, what's up with that car. That's just, I mean, it could be coincidence. Just somebody just happens to speed off at this less than 10 minutes after we knew one of the victims was still alive. That's some information I'm sure they gotta know. They want to know.
See, what I just said, Jeff, isn't popular. I already got somebody to jump off the chat.
What's that?
They didn't like what I had to say, so they jumped off. I had 8, now there's 7. I mean, I'm not trying to just like.
Now maybe they went to tell their friends, "Hey, you got to come over here to this channel."
No,
everybody follow me.
I'm not trying to throw mud at anybody's thoughts or their beliefs, because people are really. It's great to have conversation. It's great to be able to use our brain to try to get to the bottom of things that we don't understand. But
hey, keep talking. I got to go to the bathroom. I can still hear you though on my headphones.
Okay. But at the same time, kind of like the Kansas mom's case. I want to take that for an example. Individuals in streams and things were saying, well, they're not looking for them. They don't have a lot of police presence out here, and all this, that, and the other. And I heard law enforcement say on an interview, they said, well, we don't mind that people are out here searching, and we don't mind where they're searching. because we've already searched. We already know that has nothing to do with the crime itself. So it's okay that people are out here helping, but they're really not interfering because where they're at and they're searching has nothing to do with the crime or there's any evidence in that area.
So they're
Does
kind
that
of been there, done that.
Well,
It's
they
kind of
know
their
that.
approach.
Well, they know that where people are searching or where people are concentrating their energy could not have anything to do with the crime itself. It's kind of like if we're going to look at this IDAHO4 case, why would we be searching at the Mad Greek, or why would we be searching at the Corner Club, or why would we be searching at even the Grub Truck? That's not where the murders took place. They took place at 1122 King Road. So you're going to focus on the area that has the most evidence for you to solve the case. You're not going to search on the area that you're not certain the people were not at, even though we do know in video images that they were at the Corner Club, they were at the Grub Truck, they were still alive. That has nothing to do with the crime. Do you get what I'm saying? People are building up, substantiating evidence that doesn't exist. The evidence was in the house. Chad, do you understand what I'm saying? Because, people, individuals on other channels were fixated on the black coat that they found on the hydrant. And they were upset because they weren't taken seriously, that it looked like law enforcement just picked up the coat, took something out of it, and threw it back down. How could law enforcement be so callous and not take that coat in for evidence? But have you
have
ever
the video here if you want to see it?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
No, I'll show it. I'll show it. I'm just playing. But how could law enforcement be so callous and just throw the jacket down? That was Maddie's coat. Well, that was Maddie's coat, depending on the vision that you see. Possibly they knew it wasn't Maddie's coat. It was just a black coat that they found on a hydrant. This is how speculation runs rampant. That's what I'm trying to show right here. And I've even seen a video where they pause this and they even show, look, he's looking in the sleeve. See right there? He just grabbed a knife and stuck it in his pocket.
Oh,
Did
wow.
you see that?
I saw him just take a pack of gum out of there that was not.
I mean,
his,
I'm not trying to be that
Right,
guy.
I know
I'm
what you're
not
saying.
trying to be a negative Nancy here. I'm just trying to say that, when you believe certain things that people tell you, you believe it for a reason. See, they were trying to say that. Back it up a little bit, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Back when the bigger cop was walking toward the hydrant, look at his left side of his coat. There's something sticking out from the left side of his, right there. See it?
Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah.
Right there. You see that little
Right.
black thing sticking out? That's part of the knife.
Oh my gosh.
That he's going to plant in the coat. Yeah.
I see. Looks more like an antenna off a radio to me, but
there's no way that could be an antenna. What's wrong with your vision?
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Don't dox me. Don't block me. I still want to be part of the conversation. It's just an opinion.
But you get what I'm saying? I mean, everybody's opinion is valid, but there's so much of this going on right now, and it has been for the longest time. It just, I don't know.
And look at his hat. That looks like it says PCA. Oh my gosh. It's all connected. I see it now.
But do you understand why certain things are brought into evidence and why certain things are not?
Right. You know what? Let me see if you can zoom into this a little bit. Will this zoom it in? No, I can't.
But have you seen that too, where he opens the coat and then he pulls away from the coat and there's something it the sleeve of the coat, but they made it. Individuals have made it to where there's like a knife that he is tucking away and taking from the coat. Whoever killed them stuck it in the black coat, and he's there to retrieve the knife.
See, there are moments when I look at it where I can see there's like something white in the pocket. See right there? But there are times when I look at it where I think it's like it looks like a suit jacket and not the big old oversized coat that Maddie was wearing with the hood. This looks like a suit jacket. Although it's hard to tell. Down at the very bottom, it looks like it could it have a little drawstring like you do see on like a what's those black jackets that were so popular where they had the logo on the back? They're like winter.
Oh yeah, the starter jackets. What I see, I know what you're talking about. Hers had a hood, you said?
Yeah, hers had a hood and it was very oversized. This
this one doesn't look
big.
This one doesn't look as huge. It would be swallowing that hydrant. Come on, Rondi. That's no fair. I know you've heard that in other chats and other creators.
Hell, it could be a pair of pants. You know.
You know what? That could be his jacket. They look about the same size. Maybe those cops that were there questioning those kids forgot one of their jackets on the hydrant. Somebody was nice enough to put the cop jacket on the hydrant.
Let me see. I think I can go frame by frame.
How about that? And in the process, they found the knife and they stuck it in the jacket. So they're being good Samaritans and taking the knife out of the jacket so nobody else gets cut with it.
It's just hard. It's hard to determine. Like when it drops like that, it almost looks like a pair of pants. Like you ever try folding a pair of pants, like not on a table, but like just in the air?
You know that little blue patch right there on the hydrant? That's secret camera.
Doesn't it look like could be two pant legs right there? See, one is higher. The one in the foreground is higher. Let me see. Can I go backwards? Yeah.
You're about to get my video. You're about to get my video played on somebody else's panel, and they're going to talk about pants.
Let's see. Well, here, see if it happens.
I'll give you something else to talk about. See that little blue square on the hydrant? Yeah. That's secretly a camera. It recorded everything that night before the body cam.
That is not a Coke can. That is a blue square. That is not a Coke can.
I said that's a camera.
Yeah, but it's all cameras in Idaho look like Coca-Cola cans. Don't you know that?
Only the ones that are clicked.
Only the ones that you purchase from the grub truck.
Yeah, that you click the whole time. Yeah.
Oh, there's a can.
Oh, hold on. There's a camera right there on the floor, a crushed one.
Yeah.
You see it? There's a body next to the tree. You missed that. You see that body next to the tree? He leaned down and checked the pulse.
I think all those dead leaves they're not dead for a reason, for no reason. Those dead leaves on the ground.
He grabbed the coat off the dead body, and then he checked the pulse. He's looking for money to steal from the dead person.
Well, I know one thing. I mean, certainly they'll remember this, and maybe it'll come up in court. If Ann Taylor thinks that this is sign of nefarious activity, I'm sure she'll bring it up, and these officers will recall either this pair of pants or this suit jacket or whatever reason. Maybe it smelled like it's been there for 3 months, and they were like, well, this crime just happened last night, so.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting, though. I've never seen it looking like a pair of pants until just this moment. So that's just what my eye. And see, that just goes to show you what you see today and what you think today can change in a moment. So there's no reason to get mad at somebody who's got a different opinion, because their opinion might be the same as yours tomorrow, but you just went and ripped them a new one. It's like, well, why? I mean, that's like if we were having a conversation. It's like, I'm telling you which football team is going to win this Sunday. And like after the conversation, we're no longer friends because we just yelled at each other because of what we think we know and what we believe and what we predict.
Right.
Really?
Let me ask you a question. And since we're in this area right quick, when they pulled those 3 kids over, right, they were asking them their ages. I could have swore at least 2 of them said 21. How could they have been minors in possession or underage drinking if they were 21? They said they were freshmen. So wouldn't a freshman be determining if they came right out of high school? They'd be 19. They would be underage, but I could have sworn in some of those videos, at least 2 of those kids said 21. I could be wrong.
I don't remember. I know. I do remember Xana saying that she was 19, and that's why, she didn't go to the bar, right? That night she was talking to the officers, and
no,
she was
but
the
I'm
youngest,
talking
right?
about the 3. I was talking about the 3 kids
On the
that
band
got,
field.
yeah, they got citations.
Yeah, I don't remember the details of the conversation that well.
Yeah. But I've always thought, when it comes to evidence gathering, because I'm big on that, is, all this other stuff, all these side streets, and, there's certain areas that evidence is not going to be at. There was only 13 pieces of evidence gathered from the house and 51 terabytes of information, digital information. So if there's only 113 pieces of evidence that they gathered from the house, that tells you that most of the evidence they're going to present in trial is coming from the house, and the other part is from the digital evidence that they maintain to get.
Hey, look, did you notice? He's still got that knife in his hand. It's connected to like a receiver box with a speaker and a button on the side.
You got to superimpose somebody's face on him to be able to give him
that's the thing I hate to see too, is like you see one spot. Like, remember that everybody's talking about it looks like Brian's got a cut on his wrist.
Yeah.
But they were only looking at that one spot. Well, look later in the video. There's other times where you can see that same wrist and that same lighting from that same camera. Why not look at those angles too?
Well, Brian had cuts on his face in the first hearing. Obviously, he's not a very good shaver. I mean, either that or he's very sloppy with a razor.
Well, I've heard some people say too that they don't want to give like them really sharp razors in prison.
Well, they don't. They get those little big ones, those little yellow ones with the one blade. Have you ever tried to shave your face with one of those? You're gonna rip it out.
Yeah.
Look at that knife. It is huge. Well, nobody's attacking you in this channel. Nobody's attacking you, Leon. You know that from day one that you've been in here. Everybody's opinion is valid and we agree to disagree. Like right now, Jeff and I are being facetious with what we're saying. We really don't believe what we're talking.
Right. We're just having an enjoyable
Same
time.
to you, Golf. Same to you. Golf, if you need anything, my email's on my channel. Just email me and we can talk. Okay?
Yeah, and Golf, share the tinted window stuff that you did. That would be cool to see.
And Carla's gonna try to be on here on Friday night, and we're gonna talk about what we were talking about last night. So if you want to come on Friday to listen to her expertise on that, that'd be great. Have a good evening, Golf. How come only one of them has police on their jacket? The other one really not a police? Is that an informant? He just looks like a regular college kid.
Any other videos you wanted to see, 12, while I got my hard drive up here?
I think
I'm trying to think of any that were.
I think we're aggravating the chat with our commentary. Do you have that video of those three kids walking under the awning. The one kid that walks in front in that Jeep where they tell that girl, "Hey, don't park here. Park somewhere else. We told you not to park up here." You know what I'm talking about?
Wait, it sounds a little familiar, but you got to refresh my memory a little more.
It's Linda Lane,
Yeah.
and it supposedly happens around 11:30, where four kids get out of a
Oh,
Jeep-looking
yeah.
vehicle, and they walk up toward Linda Lane.
Yeah, 1227, I think is. Let me see. I
Yeah,
might
or
have the original video, but
12:27, somewhere around there. Yeah, 12:27, somewhere around there.
you know
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Best place to get it is off of my YouTube channel. Hold on, let me grab that.
And I'm glad that we have individuals that actually use their brain in the chat. I mean, I'm thankful for that, because I don't know everything. Jeff doesn't know anything. I mean, everything.
I know very little. Anything, Jeff doesn't know anything.
No, I mean, we've we try to get to the facts, we try to get to we get I try to get people on here that research their thoughts before they speak, and they're more about research than they are just speculation. I want them to be able to prove what they're talking about rather than just talking about it, or talking about hearing about it from somewhere else. Because, I know that a lot of people are tired of hearing that. They're tired of hearing creators just talk and talk and talk and talk about, I heard this from this person, or have their biased opinion based on some kind of reenactment that they're facing in their lives. Like, there's some creators that are so angry when they present their stuff to people, it's hard to watch. It's like, man, why are you taking out your anger on this person? Or, there's one specifically that is anti-religion, and this individual really goes off on the camera when they're talking about God and religion and all that. And I'm not going to get into that, but it's obvious to see their issues because of their expressions on their face. And it'd be hard for me to follow somebody who is so biased and unable to be open-minded about different realities.
Doesn't it seem too like if you have confidence in what you believe and what you think, you also ought to have confidence in your ability to express it and then convince somebody else and have them see it your way calmly. It seems to me the moment you get angry about it, then maybe you're doubting your own abilities to just have a conversation to express it. And it seems like a very adult thing to get to a point and say, okay, well, so we don't see eye to eye. Let's talk tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
No need to be angry. It's really as simple as that. And I hear a lot of people say it, and a lot of times people actually demonstrate it too. But I think we need to demonstrate it all the time. Try to be patient with each other. It's not what do any of us have that is going to really directly affect the case? I mean, unless you really think that you are definitely going to be on the jury, and but we're just speculating. It's no different than trying to predict the football game winner that's coming up.
Very true. Leon, you're right on this statement. I like it. You said, Gage, what gets to me is that it's not personal with Bill Thompson to be out to get Brian. They don't see that Bill is the victim's lawyer, not personal. That's so true. I mean, he's the prosecutor. He's the state attorney. It's his job to convict the guilty, whoever it is. Yeah, this is the video. This is the video right here.
Yeah. Do you want the sound on it too? Let me see. How come?
No. We can hear it without the sound. Or just leave it soundless. Slow it down right here. Right here. The guy in the white coat has a knife. A steak knife.
The first guy.
Yes. Not him.
Yeah.
The one that looks like the one that looks like Ethan.
Yeah, I really think, you know, if you're in proximity of the crime, you're involved. That seems to be the rule of the day. If you are anywhere near there and around the time, you must have had something to do with it. But I'm trying to think
Or
here.
if you like to eat, or if you like to eat steak.
You know, this let me play the sound just for a little bit right here. When he comes up to this wall here that is it's the walkway, it's the stairs that go around into the building. On the
Yeah,
front of that.
I always thought he punched like a mailbox or something, or a door to get them to open it.
Yeah, no, it's a no parking sign, and I think the no parking sign is hanging from the top upper corners. I got an email from Kane Franstick, the landlord at Linda Lane, that because I was hoping he could maybe give me a shot of it or shoot some video of it, but I couldn't quite get that. But he did say that he's the one that hung that no parking sign up there. I wish at the time I was communicating back and forth with him that he could have told me, was it just hanging from, or maybe I did ask him, he just couldn't remember if he secured the bottom corners of it. But what I think is happening here is this guy is walking up to that no parking sign because the other people in the car, as you hear them come up, they're talking about clearly somebody they knew. They told her she shouldn't have parked there. So I think somebody got towed this night, that they were just going out to have a good time. Somebody got towed. He's pissed about it. He probably had to pay the tow truck company to get the car out of the impound lot. And so now he's pounding that no parking sign against the wall. And I think the woman's voice that you hear.
Yeah, or she's gotten towed before, and they're telling her, "We told you not to park here."
Yeah, because that one guy says, "I don't want to be that guy," you know. But I told her.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
The other thing too is that it looks like he's on the phone as he's walking up. Everybody says he's hiding his face, but you hear the voice of a woman that I think comes down the stairs from inside the building. I have a feeling that's like his girlfriend, and she's heard, or they're on the phone and he's trying to tell her what happened. And, you know, maybe they're short on money and he's like, yeah, but nobody else had the money. So I had to pay the $300 to get the car out. I don't know what we're going to do. And she sounds pissed. So the first thing you hear her come down is like, she says, you know, what's going on?
Wow. You hear all that?
Yeah. Let me back it up and do that again.
Yeah. He looks like he shakes that sign.
Wait, is this playing at a fast speed? Yeah, it is. Sorry. I thought that didn't seem right.
I really don't believe that guy that looks like Ethan is holding a knife, Rondi. I really don't believe that. I'm kind of being playful from something else I watched last night. I don't believe it at all. I don't believe half the stuff that I see on other channels, unless it's
there's
very
another thing
researched.
that is often talked about is the reflections in the back of this Toyota RAV4. And if I understand, and he'll know who it is, and if this is my question, because I've never really been able to understand completely how they view it. But they said it's a reflection of a reflection. So, but here's the deal. If the camera is up high, it's looking down at this window, that, now we can see that it's showing like the stairs. You can see them going through the doorway here. So it's a high angle. It bounces off this window and probably does show the laundry room window that's to the back and to the right of the car. But then now the reflection would be going back up, bouncing off the laundry room window, which would bounce up and show the ceiling. So I don't know how, unless the person was killed and attacked on the ceiling, I don't know how you're going to see. That's at least, you know how you can play billiards to figure out the angles.
Yeah, like I said a while ago, that's a lot of work, Jeff. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, but
I know there's a lot of people that are very passionate about what they see and what they hear and what, this and that and the other, but I can't get behind all that. I just can't. If I can't see it, if you can't prove it to me by a reasonable doubt, it's all probable to me. You know what I mean? It's probable.
Yeah, let me see. I have a community post that shows the picture of that. Where is it? Here we go. Yes, can you see that?
Can you make it a little bigger? Okay, I see it now. It's off the corner. That red white
so
sign
that's
says
that's the parking sign. He slams, then he comes around these stairs and goes up.
Okay.
And then I believe that Toyota is parked like right here. There was another creator I was listening to I think it was early on, and I can understand why they might have thought that at the time, but they thought that he was banging against the mailboxes, but the mailboxes are way over here.
Yeah,
You can clearly see he
I
bangs
thought
it.
it was the mailboxes too.
Yeah, but this is the window.
Leave that up, Jeff. Isn't the camera right there in that corner right above the window?
I've got a better. I've got the actual original picture of that. Hold on.
Man, we've been able to keep 12 people in here the whole time. Good job. Thank y'all for being in here.
I can't get even two of my family to pay attention to me this long.
Right.
Y'all.
I mean, usually we've gone this long with no audience, remember? Or maybe Sabrina and White Lion. That's about it.
Okay, here's the actual original of that I posted. Present. Okay, this should be much easier to see now.
Okay, yeah, I see where the camera is. So where those two windows are, that's the laundry room, right?
Right, and I can even show you what it looks like inside that laundry room. Let's take a little tour.
Was that the owner that came out on Gray Hughes's video and ran him off?
I'm not positive, but I think it is. I think that is him.
I remember seeing that.
Yeah, now here's the laundry room that's on the other side of that window.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the window there.
So they were saying that there was an entrance in this laundry room to get
I think you lift this rug up and you go into a tunnel.
Or you go in here where the sink is, that's where the stairs go down.
Or maybe you climb into the dryer and
type in year 1985 and it spins you around.
Yeah.
Go back to that other picture, Jeff. I want to look at something right quick. Because as they were going up those stairs, is there an apartment right there?
Yeah, this doorway has stairs, wooden stairs that lead upward.
Okay, because you could see them. You could see them going up those stairs. I thought it was 2 stories right there. I thought there was another set of stairs going the other direction.
Yeah, no, I think when you go through that door, I could be wrong. I think there's a door to the left that goes to the laundry room, and then stairs that go upward.
Okay.
I think that's all there is. There used to be, the landlord used to have a video on his YouTube channel that showed a tour of the 1320 apartment, and they showed the apartment, and then the person walked up into the laundry room. And why I didn't grab that video, I'm kicking myself to this day. And I've said it many, many, many times. Lana from Truth and Transparency showed that video on a live stream, so it's probably still saved. It's saved there. Which live stream?
I remember seeing that. I remember seeing that video on you could see it whenever you would type in, 1300 Linda Lane, it would show you the layout.
But it's amazing how you see things on YouTube or on the internet, and you think, oh, they'll always be there. I keep going back to it, and then all of a sudden it's gone. It's like, oh shoot, Should have grabbed
It's
that.
kind of like that walkthrough video that we commentated on. I went to look at that video again, and it says this house has been demolished. So they took down the whole house, the whole 360 view, and everything.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
that site isn't active anymore?
No, it's not up anymore.
wow.
So the only video evidence, I guess, are the ones that people saved, and there's one on the stream that you and I were talking about the walkthrough in the house.
I think this photo is really interesting. This is the photo when I finally realized that this. Wait, let me zoom in a little bit.
There's a white freaking car right there.
Look at all the pickup trucks too. White pickup trucks.
Good God. No, there's a white. Is that a silver car or is that a white car coming up?
This one. This is
Queen
this is
Road.
silver over here.
Silver.
Yeah.
Well, Golf
But
was
this,
saying the other day that there's a camera right there on those apartments.
On this one here, off to the right.
See where that car is? Directly in front of that, there was a camera.
Where are you talking about?
Okay, see the silver car that you just pointed out
off to the right?
On Queen
This
Road.
one?
Yes, now go straight.
Okay.
You see that little awning looking area? She
This
said
over
that
here?
that there's a camera there.
Hmm.
There was a camera there, and there was another camera on 52.
Yeah, I know they mentioned 52 in the PCA, and of all the people and all the YouTubers that have gone out here and shot footage, why nobody? Because I keep looking very closely at all the doors on this building and on this building, trying to find exactly which one is 52. I think 52 is over in this shorter building.
Yeah, Rondi says they're everywhere. I used to see them wherever I went. Rondi, are you from the area? If you are, maybe we need an updated boots on the ground video.
But this is what I think is interesting, is that this is the carport. There's the mailboxes. There's the stairs that the guy goes up, right? There's two floors with balconies right above where the camera is. So the camera is like right under these two floors.
Right.
So I'm sure it's probably, I'm not sure. I don't know for sure. But, you know, one of the things you can hear very clearly is some guy singing, you know, country roads, take me home to the place I belong. You know, that sounds so clear. I'm imagining it's coming from one of these very close units.
Right.
But let me ask you this, because I often think I can't hear for certain any, you know, when I hear a scream or something, it's like, well, if you're on a balcony over here and maybe you see your friend is about to go around the building, you're about to lose sight of them, and you want to get their attention before they turn the corner, if you yell or scream to their name, I mean, it seems possible that then, you know, here we're listening to it later thinking it's something else, and it's really just like, you know, somebody just trying to yell across the way.
Golf and I had a conversation about that on a live stream the other day, as far as the triangulation and the direction you're facing. Like, we're talking about it being a fishbowl, you know, and how if you're facing south, if you yelled to the south, your voice would carry, and it would sound possibly to the north, especially with all those trees there.
Well, it's like playing billiards again. It's going to, you know, sounds bounce off of hard, flat surfaces in an expected pattern, just like, you know, the sides of a billiard table are straight and long. You can predict what the angle of incidence is, the opposite of the angle of reflectance. You know, comes in at 30 degrees, it bounces off at 30 degrees. Comes in at 45 degrees, it bounces off at 45. So, you know, considering that the camera is here under this carport, the sounds from the house where the murders happen have to get through this building, or it's to come down this channel of the two buildings. I mean, it's possible that the sound could, you know, come through. It's going to bounce and bounce and bounce off of these walls in here, and who knows if it even ever makes it. This is 100 yards away. Now, I think you get a somewhat of a clear path, maybe under the carports, and then behind the building, and then to the to the murder house. But I don't know. This camera is like under $100. I just bought like a $400 shotgun microphone. I wonder how much my shotgun microphone would hear 100 yards away.
Right.
So I have my doubts.
Maybe you could like do an experiment on it and live stream it or something. Let me run this past you while I'm thinking about it, okay? You know all the information in the PCA where it talks about all the people being at home and how Dylan was. They don't mention where Dylan is. They don't mention anything about Bethany other than she was at the Sigma Chi, right? If Dylan was at home and it was found out that she was at home the whole time, then they would know more about the sounds, what she heard outside, what she saw, what kind of vehicle she heard around the house, all that stuff. Like what you're just saying. If she heard people yelling outside, if she heard people yelling certain people's names, if she saw people in the back, if she was a smoker and you couldn't smoke in the house, surely she went out back to smoke. What did she see back there? Did she see anything suspicious? Did she notice any suspicious vehicles? Did she notice any suspicious vehicles at front? Just because everybody was in the house by 4 a.m. does not mean that everybody was asleep by 4 a.m. So did she go outside to smoke a vape, a pen? Did she do any of this? Did any of the others go outside? Obviously the ones that are deceased can't speak, but did Bethany go outside to smoke? Did she see anything? Did she hear anything? We don't get any of that because either that's not evidence toward the crime or it's irrelevant. Do you get what I'm saying? You're muted.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring that avenue in there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to I mean obviously they know more. I mean just the fact that it wasn't that long ago we learned of Kaylee's final like resting position. That says that there's still more things like this that we'll come to learn. I just think it seems like we can speculate that they're going after the death penalty. That kind of makes you think, okay, they seem pretty confident that they have enough to go for that, right?
That's a strong. Yeah, you just would not go for the fence if you believe that your evidence is not viable enough to get somebody the death penalty. You know what I mean? You're confident the jury is going to find this defendant guilty. I'm not saying he's guilty, but that's what I'm saying right now is there's so much that I'm sure was investigated that has not been told to the public. I'm not saying that this is hidden evidence or evidence that's going to come out of trial. I'm saying that these are, to think on a logical level, how police witnesses, how they interview witnesses, what they got from these witnesses. They didn't interrogate any of them, so they got witness statements. So what did you hear? You were at a party at 2:30 to 4:30. Did you hear any noises? Yes, I heard this person run by yelling, "Hey, woo!" Okay, let me write that down. What were they wearing? All this stuff is relevant, even though you haven't heard about it.
Right.
So when people think of this crime, they only think in a very controlled box. This happened between 9 o'clock and 4:38. That's the only time frame that people are thinking about, and they're only thinking about the stuff that's been told to us. How come people aren't really thinking about other things that could have went on? such as the interviews. Who did the police interview? What could possibly the interviewers have seen that got them to even consider it might have been Brian? They're only focusing on the Elantra, the cameras, the bushy eyebrows, the footprints, the tire marks. There was a whole shitload more going on that Saturday night. Just like you said, anybody out that night is instantly a suspect. No, they're not.
Right, right.
If anything, they were a potential witness to possibly give information to maybe help solve a crime. Wouldn't you think?
Yeah, and I think too. See, now I lean towards law enforcement being professionals and being good at what they do, and in the investigation of and you know questioning of all these people that are in the proximity. I would assume that they would have the experience to know if somebody's lying. They'd know how to press them to get the truth out of them.
But during an interview, you're not going to be doing that, Jeff. That's what I'm trying to say. When you're interviewing somebody, unless they're a suspect, you're not interrogating them harshly.
Yeah.
They're just. I'm just going to ask you. Let's pretend I'm a police officer, and you were walking your dog on. I don't know. I'm trying to think of an address there. 1114 King Road. You're walking your dog, and it was out by a hydrant or whatever. And I come across you and I say, "What's your name?" Jeff. Okay, Jeff. How old are you? Give me your date of birth. You know, I write down your characteristics. I say, okay, you were out at what time? Well, my dog woke me up at 3:00. Okay, from 3 to how long were you out? Well, my dog usually wakes up at that time, and you know, he takes about 10-15 minutes to do his business. Okay, from 3 to 3:15, what did you hear anything suspicious that you normally don't hear or see? Well, I did see a couple cars driving by quite slowly. Okay. Do you remember
Wait,
what they looked
I have the picture. I have the picture to go along with your story. Here, that's perfect. I'm looking through my Idaho pictures. This is perfect. Okay, put that picture up and then carry on.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Dog.
Awesome. So these cars that you noticed, did they have any particular marking? Did they have any lights out? Did you notice any of the license plate numbers? Did you notice any stickers? Any kind of, were they playing loud music, or you know, did you notice more than one person in the car? No, not really. Nothing really stuck out. They were just driving slow, you know, like normal people do around here. Okay. Did your dog alert you to anything different that night? I mean, did it bark any weird ways? I mean, you know. No, nothing unusual. Did you hear any screams or anything? I hear screams all the time. That's all you hear in this neighborhood. I see people running here and there all the time at 3 and 4 in the morning. That's what they do. They're running drunk, trying to get home. Okay. All right, Jeff, can I get a good number to, you know, contact you if I have any more questions, or, you know, I can give you my card, and if you can think of anything else that you may have not told me or anything, feel free to call me. That's how an interview goes. Short and sweet. All this other stuff that people want to interrogate them, take them down to the station, make them tell the truth, blah, blah, blah. All that's bullshit. That's not real life. That is make believe. That is TV stuff.
Yeah.
You know? So that's an awesome pick. Did your dog notice anything different, Jeff, that night?
No, just sniffing and a peeing.
Really quickly, Jeff, because we're coming up on 3 hours. Really quickly. if you lived in that neighborhood and you were walking your dog just like you walk them every night, because there's other people that live in that neighborhood other than college students. They're used to hearing screams. They're used to hearing doors banging. You know, if you were interviewed, that's probably what you'd say, right? I heard nothing out of the ordinary. Even if you heard a car speeding off, that's probably a normal Saturday night, Sunday morning. That's why this crime is so hard to solve.
Yeah,
That's
and
why
you know, you're trying to recall from the night before. I mean, that's what I one of the things I think about when I think about Dylan being interviewed about the night before. It if you had to, you found out just like an hour ago something bad happened last night. How much detail would you be able to to pull from, with the assumption, say I assume that Dylan isn't part of a cleanup crew, isn't involved, doesn't know anybody, was unalive that night, and it's the next day you're trying to recall the things that you remember.
right.
I'm dying to know. The one thing at the top of my list is like, what is meant by frozen shock face? Exactly what does that mean? I don't want to assume what it means. I don't want to speculate on what it means. I want to know.
I posted a video on my community chat today that this lady explained it beautifully. Give diagrams and everything. Even go through the emotional escalation to de-escalation, how long it takes, and the stuff that goes along with that wording, frozen shock phase.
But
So
is
go
it a
check
phrase that has been uttered by anybody else other than
it's called
case?
frozen. It's called frozen phase.
Huh.
Let me see if I can pull it up on YouTube. And I'm only going to give you a couple more minutes. We could go for hours. I know we can. I've been here.
Oh, you know what? I think I was invited to be on Swamp Rose tonight with Robert. Are they still on? I'm sitting here getting all into this. That's like being invited to a birthday party and not showing up.
Right. How dare you?
Shame on you. You did. It's your fault.
Hey, I just asked you if you wanted to come up and share some videos. And
I don't see them. Okay. They stood me up. I don't see them. Yeah.
Here's the video.
It's only on Robert. Okay.
Here's the video for the chat as well. If you want to do some research on how to come out of the freeze response from trauma, the Polynesial theory and somatic experiencing. This individual does an awesome job describing that, and she will take you through that. She will take you through the emotional responses. Trauma is awful, and no matter what anybody might speculate that Dylan didn't, she's out partying and all this and that the night up. And, people deal with trauma differently. Some people have shut down their emotion to the point, if they've dealt with trauma and abuse for a long time in their lives, they deal with it totally like I'm going to refer it to like a rape victim, an incest, a molestation.
Mm-hmm.
People deal with it differently. So let's say somebody's molested at a young age. They might totally gravitate toward the continual violence of being molested or, having sex, being promiscuous, or they might go the other direction and totally shut down and never want to do that at all. So the same thing happened with trauma. You can either dissociate to the point where you don't have any emotional attachment to anything in your life, so you're just running on autopilot, where you're not wanting to deal with it, because once you open up that can, you don't know if you're going to implode and shut down to the point of ever coming out of it. So be very mindful of anybody who's dealt with any kind of trauma or any kind of sexual abuse or any kind of verbal abuse or narcissistic abuse. Be very kind, because people deal with, or grief, people deal with these things on a different level. And just because you would have done something, you were not in that situation at the time that happened. So you do not know how you would have dealt with seeing a masked man coming at you with all the sights and sounds, whether you heard him or whether you didn't. Take into account she probably did. So think of all the trauma that caused hearing, if anything, even if you didn't know that they were being murdered, you knew something was abnormal to the fact that it froze you once you saw that person coming towards you. So you knew something traumatic had happened to your roommates. You just didn't know what. So it
Now, where do you
scared
think
you.
that phrase comes from? The officer or from her?
I'm sure she was given a psych evaluation, and that probably was stated in that psych
from the
eval.
officer.
No, I'm sure she was given an evaluation by a social worker or some kind of psychologist or psychiatric person. Because when you experience trauma like that, it is just not, you're not in a state of mind. You need a professional to walk you through what you saw. She wasn't in any point of mindset to say that clearly what she saw. I'm sure she saw some kind of professional with the police officer to give her recount so that she felt safe enough to be able to speak on what she saw and heard. People think that she just went down to the station after seeing that traumatic event and instantly was quoting everything that was in the PCA. Come on, man.
Right there on the spot.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. You're not going to be in a state of mind 5 minutes after you see your housemate butchered. Even if you only saw two of them, you can only imagine that the other two aren't coming down to see what you see. They didn't answer the phone when you text them. Your other roommate didn't call them and text them. They didn't answer for her either. So you see these two in this state of mind or this state, you can only assume that the other two are the same way or worse. So why would you want to run upstairs and see even more trauma? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm a professional, so I mean, I'm seeing it from a therapeutic standpoint. It's only logical to think that you would be traumatized so badly that you wouldn't want to see any more of that. You would one of them passed out unconscious. So
Right, and the thought of how close you came yourself to losing your life.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like when you if you go to the Grand Canyon or something, there's that feeling when you're standing close to the edge, or you get closer and closer to the edge. You just feel that uneasy feeling of like, oh my gosh, this is so close to like demise.
Yeah. Yeah, anybody who's ever had any kind of dissociation or trauma or anything like that, it's kind of like time stands still whenever that's happening, and the frozen would be like, have you ever been in a car wreck? You know where time stands still during the wreck and you're kind of like floating in space and you're unable to move and you're just there, you're conscious, but you're not. And you can't move, you can't scream, you can't do anything. You're just frozen. That's it. Right there, Jeff.
Yeah. I just wish they had used a phrase that is just that you can only understand one way. That is very clear.
But that's a clinical term.
Yeah.
And it's not even the correct one, but it's a clinical term. But Thank you
And
so
what do you
much.
think? I mean, do you think it's accurate? It's an accurate representation of what she was feeling? Is it possible? Is it possible that they applied that phrase to her? But the fear level.
Well,
Again,
they
that's why I guess I'm very interested in her exact words as to what her
well,
fear level was.
I'm pretty
Because if they
certain.
just, yeah,
I'm pretty certain that if you give a description, kind of like what I just said about the car wreck, she could have gave an example of another time when she felt that. And instead of putting that, just saying, okay, the surviving victim states that she faced this frozen shock phase at another time in her life, such as, you know, almost drowning or whatever.
right.
They just used the wording. And
So you can liken it to something else.
right.
Yeah.
Because it's probably not going to be even part of the testimony in trial. So it's just going to say, what did you see? What did you hear? What did you know? Anybody that's listening still, if you ever question anything about law enforcement, there's 4 words that go along with testimony and they go along with evidence gathering and everything else. Where, what, when, and how. Why is not in there. So when you find yourself asking why or how come or any of that, that's speculative. Where it happened, how it happened, when it happened, and what happened.
So it's more of a fact gathering mission, not a reason gathering mission. You're not concerned about the reason why it happened. You just want to know what is it again?
Yeah.
What, why, how?
No,
when?
why is that part of it? What,
no, not
when,
why. Yeah, why is that?
What, when, where, and how.
What, when, where, how.
It's almost like Chinese. Ni hao. Huh. But Jeff, thank you so much thank you so much. Hopefully you catch part of the stream you were invited to.
Yeah, it looks like I'm watching on another thing. They're talking about a case that I'm not even familiar with, so I don't know how much I would have added to that conversation. I'll go over there though after. We should go and be party crashers.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I got anything going on here, and if so, I might join you if he lets me on the panel. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
Hey, thank you.
Thanks
you
again.
guys so much.
Thanks everybody.
In chat for your feedback and your conversation. Like I said, everybody's opinion is valid here. We agree to disagree, and we just focus on the facts, and we focus on what we can back up with the facts, not just merely speaking for 2 hours and 53 minutes. We've shown you a lot of things that we can back up with our wording. So thank you, Leon. Thank you, Rondi. Thank you, Windchill, even though you're probably gone already. Thank you, Christy. I think you left a long time ago. See who else here.
Sergeant was here.
Sarge is here. I think he's on his show.
Golf was here.
Golf was
Paula
here.
was
Thank
here.
you, Golf. Paula. Yeah. And Ken. I've never
I think it was
seen
close
you.
to 700 at one point, wasn't it? That was here, and everybody.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yep. That's 720 something.
Wow. If we ever
of course,
get
I'm terrible at math.
If we ever get to that point, I ever get to that point, I'll blow the internet. I'll blow the internet. That sounded bad. I'll blow the internet up, but that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Man, words have been misconstrued so much you can't say anything without it being perversive. DB Tabe,
like in the Chad Daybell trial, I couldn't help but notice. They have a video of him in a police car on a body cam type of thing, and he says he's talking and he says, he just says that's what he said, but there's no chuckle or there's like the most guys would. And then his son is on the stand being questioned, and his son makes a comment, totally different subject, I think, but he says, he said that's what he said. And no chuckle. And I thought, man, you're definitely your father's son.
You guys, please hit the like button. Let your subordinates know that this is where it's at to get the facts. Whether I have a guest up here or whether I don't, I try to stick to the same philosophy. And this is where you can come and have your voice heard and shared and not chastised or even ignored. One thing really quickly. I've been in other chats and I've said hello, and I've had the mod tell me hi, but the rest of the chat just ignores you. I don't want it to be like that here. I want everybody to be heard, everybody to be recognized, because you are the reason that we are here. We're not here because of us. We're here for you. We're here for you, and you're the one to make the chat go. So always remember that and try to spread the word that this is the place you can come without the fear of chastising or feeling that your thoughts are not valid. If it's so out there that it could possibly not make sense, like the Elantra without wheels and on jack stands, I mean, we'll still let you hold on to that belief, but we don't have to, we don't have to buy that if we don't believe it, So it's whatever it is. So you guys have an awesome night. Jeff, I'm going to cue the music.
Maestro.
Yes, sir. Maestro, cue the music. You have an awesome night, Jeff.
You too, man.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.